this this eclectic group of adventurers had finally decided they've had enough of Marshtown after doing some adventures there, making some money, learning what they could about the Black Blade known as Mollyhawk, who apparently resides up in the nearby port city of Corda. Managed to, after losing one party member, the little halfling known as Mio, and gaining yet another one, the very large not halfling known as Gunther, you inquired about getting out of the city, looking at getting some horses, and then decided instead to book passage on a ship known as the Mist, captained by
I'm on a boat.
water ganassi named Captain Avantgardine. You booked the passage, made sure he understood you wanted to leave the next morning, and made sure everything was paid for, and then proceeded to head back to your lodgings and rest for the night. It is now the first day of the month of rain, a completely new month, and technically a new season as well. The morning has arrived. Belongings, you head back into the lobby of the Drunken Grumpkin, where you've spent several different nights in various states of intoxication and pain. Points. Meeting up with Gunther and making your way down to the dock district of Marshtown, where the Mist is actually the only ship still docked right now. It looks like most of the other ships have actually left for the night. Begin to walk up the gangplank of the Mist. What would you like to do?
Ahoy the ship.
Is
Is anybody?
Make a perception check.
Am I the one that can't hear anything?
I can't
no.
either.
Oh,
Okay, cool.
Oh.
am I gonna have to tweak my sensitivity again? All right, go ahead and make a perception check. Okay, 12. One sec, I'm gonna tweak this. I can't tell which direction I need to go in as far as sensitivity, so... Do I sound better or worse?
I can hear you, so
Yep.
Okay.
you sounded fine before.
Alright, we'll assume that's better then. So, you glance, as you're beginning to walk up the gangplank, trying to call out to see if there is anyone. There are a couple of deckhands just around the deck making sure everything's secured. Up at the far after castle is the captain, blue-skinned, older, white beard, and slightly poofy hat of Captain Avantgardine, as he looks at you. Welcome back to the Mist. Are you ready to shove off?
It's Pope shit in his hat. Fuck yeah, we are.
What is a Pope?
This shithole of a town in our rearview mirror.
We can definitely do that. Everyone, get ready to cast off. And you watch as you guys all gather onto the deck. He does have a deckhand lead you down into the deck itself to your quarters, where you can stash all your belongings and everything. Just because of the, wolf that's following you guys around. Despite apparently being a very well-tamed wolf. Edge, they're not quite used to something like that.
Oh, she's just a little puppy.
Yeah, just following around the scary-looking half-elf with the bow.
Not that scary.
Uh,
Oh no, we're kind of terrifying.
Yeah, only just a tad. And your elves. Anyway,
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not terrified at all.
after-
Handsome as shit.
after stashing your belongings, you head back onto the deck right as the ship begins casting off. Different sails dropping off, and in fact, several oars from the bottom, one of the lower decks, are used to shove off from the actual docks harbor area to begin sailing out towards the open ocean. Is just sitting there up at the wheel right now. Seems to be trying to make sure that all of his deckhands are doing as they should be. Seems to run a very well-tight ship. And picking up speed and heading out into the open ocean.
I'm gonna give a big middle finger to Marshtown as we leave it far behind. You were a gross, damp shithole, and I never want to come back to you.
Fair enough. You easily flip that off. The city reacts.
How does it react?
Yeah.
I said it doesn't.
No.
I thought you said the city reacts too. I'm like, oh shit.
Yep. Suddenly, cannon fire. But as you begin picking up speed, the captain says, "All right, it looks like we have fair winds right now. Travel should take about 3 days, so sit back, relax. You guys now have essentially, it's just 3 days of downtime. Well, 2.5, but is there anything in particular anyone wants to do while traveling?
Not really.
No. So what did I forgot? Do we have like one? Are we like in an open like berth with hammocks, or do we have like a room that we all share? Like, how's the sleeping arrangements?
Okay, as far as the sleeping arrangements go, it's basically one large berth that is separated by these collapsible, kind of like barriers. If you've ever seen those in like large classrooms, just able to like split it off.
Like the little dividers, like the partition things.
A little partitions that are folded up against the walls and the ceiling that can be drawn down to create sort of separate rooms for each other. But other than that, it's mostly just one large open space. You do not have hammocks, but you do have cots that seem to be bolted into the floor and walls.
Sweet.
Up to create more space if necessary. There's also the common areas inside of the lower decks and what's essentially the passenger and merchant deck. Half the deck, or half of this under deck, is reserved for you guys and your passenger, like this passenger area. You guys are actually the only passengers on the ship, whereas the other half is reserved for an additional hold for luxury items that could potentially be traded, as the Mist is a merchant ship.
I mean, I'll just stab these fucking sailors away.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Just chilling out on deck then, or?
Yeah.
I'll be chilling.
Yeah, I mean, as long as like there's a spot on the deck out of the way, then yeah, I'll just fucking lounge around. What time of year is it? Is it like nice out?
Pretty nice out. It is. God damn it! I had the calendar up. It might not have been a new season. I might have misspoke there.
Would.
First, having to design an entire fucking calendar and seasonal system.
You know why? You know what? I don't do that shit because I'm too fucking lazy. Do you like how I just made those years up in my game last night? I was like, it's 542.
I was like, well, all right, the math checks out there.
Yeah, I know I had the math right. I just picked a random number. I did write those down because I will 100% forget that shit, and that year will jump all over the place.
Yes, the month of rain. It is actually the first day of spring. However, this part of the empire, being a native of Corda, coastal areas tend not to get as chilly as certain areas in the empire during winter. So now that this is the beginning of spring, tail end of winter, it's warming up a lot more, especially around the ocean.
So it's like what, 70s?
Yeah, it's about high 60s or like low 70s, somewhere in that range. Pretty comfortable.
Nice.
But you do notice after about a first couple hours of travel, Gunther is kind of off in the corner, just holding himself, and he looks green in the face. Blasted Southerners, all your boats, and he just kind of like doesn't quite throw up yet, but he just kind of leans over the side just in case he's about to.
Ooh, you know what you could use, buddy? How about a greasy pork sandwich served in a dirty ash?
And he loses it. I meant that was my favorite morning beer.
Oh, sucks for him.
I'm going down below deck, and he just kind of like slowly stumbles down the stairs to the deck, and one of the deckhands kind of laughs. He goes, seasickness.
Take a bucket, dipshit. Don't throw up on the fucking floor.
If only he'd listen. Is that the best way to combat seasickness is to just stare out at the horizon?
Yeah.
Oh well, and deckhand gets back to his job. But during so there's nothing in particular anyone wants to do. You guys are just chilling out, relaxing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just
I'm just building trust with
assuming
myself.
everybody's busy, so it's like everybody wants to play cards. So I'll just like, I don't know, juggle knives or like do push-ups or just sleep. Just fucking anything to pass time.
You make an athletics check, and Joe, since you said you were trying to build trust, go ahead and roll an animal handling check.
This will be good. Yep, pretty standard for me.
All right. Kisa's a little uncomfortable being on a boat. You managed to get her onto the boat pretty easily, and it's now that you're dealing with her now, you probably realize she didn't realize where she was going, and now that she's very clearly surrounded by water, she's a little uncomfortable and she's kind of nippy at you. Doesn't hurt you or anything, but a little testy as far as that trust relationship you're trying to build. You, Finn, you start going through some basic, not quite training, but keeping yourself nice and limber, making sure, exercising just a little bit, keep in shape.
Prison yard exercises. Just fucking push-ups.
Not quite enough to build up a sweat, but you get a pretty good little workout and everything. You feel pretty comfortable.
Nice. Dudes here. Like anybody? What's up? What's up, Tyler? Psh. I'm doing my workouts.
I see that.
She
just
Tyler and
looks at him
Garuk,
like,
are you two?
yep.
Yeah. Happened. Tyler and Garuk, are you two doing anything?
Not really. Just apparently watching our our weak-ass charisma using warlock do push-ups.
Hey, I'm not so weak.
Pretty much.
No, I mean he did a pretty good little workout there, but you guys go about your business for the day, just kind of relaxing, and it's about 3 or 4 o'clock. And a couple of the deckhands actually start pointing out there. Everyone roll a perception check for me.
Really, roll 20? Really?
Yeah, roll 20.
Man, you got
shit.
me and Matt's game all the time. All right, so you guys are having, with the bobbing of the ship and everything, it's a little hard to get your bearings quite. A couple times you think you see what everyone's looking at. Garuk, you of all people, even though you've never really spent time on a ship much, you get a pretty good bearing, managed to get up onto one of the riggings near one of the deckhands and easily spot what everyone's looking at. There's a couple of ships out on the horizon a little bit. As you guys are sailing north, these guys appear to have a heading of somewhere heading southwest, so they're not heading quite towards you, but they're heading where they've been. And you guys, eventually someone points it out to you guys and you're able to see as you get a little bit closer, about a mile and a half away. So they're not very, it's not a very clear image of them. Seeing them as they get a little bit closer, about a mile now. As you start to get closer, Captain Avant-Gardine comes up and he pulls out a spyglass, just kind of eyes them up and goes, "Ah, Imperial Navy, with the creatures of the deep."
Just like, oh shit.
What?
I just blankly stare.
Well, not to worry, my friends. They are just chasing down the monstrous creatures of the ocean.
Like
Have,
actively?
Well,
Or like
more
as a
actively
general
lately
job?
than in the past. We've had several raids lately by different creatures, mostly the Sahagwin and the Mero. They seem to be stirred up by something, but vessels like this one, so sticking to trade routes and allowing the Navy to do its job is preferable to getting ambushed. Flotillas like this tend to head out every once in a while just to do patrols and ensure that the waterways are safe for the rest of us.
Yeah, they gotta be good for something.
Well, there are always complaints, of course, mainly by the merfolk, who complain that the Navy attacks indiscriminately. And he starts walking away, and you guys actually hear 3 very large booms off in the distance as it looks like these ships are... You're not quite sure, but you see what looks like small explosions off of their decks. Another 3 rounds, and you see large splashes of water off of their bows, shooting something into the water.
Huh.
You guys start getting ever closer to them. They're still going off. They're now actually not quite immediately west of you, but off west a little bit, northwest of you a little bit. And within easily identifiable eye range, when you start noticing that there are creatures swarming the decks of the naval ship.
What swarming the decks?
There appear to be some kind of creatures, and in fact, one of the deckhands notices and goes, "Captain, there's something." And he goes, "I see it." With the spyglass once again, he goes, "Oh man, again."
Is there a problem?
Not a problem for us, but a problem for the Empire. Like I said, they attack indiscriminately. They pick fights with friends. Just to acknowledge that the merfolk are humanoid. They see them as a monstrous race and therefore inferior and the same as the Mero and the Sahagwin. So, when they see anything swimming through the water near ships, they take it to be an enemy and they fire. We'll not be getting involved in this, and he kind of turns the wheel of the ship just ever so slightly to set you guys a little closer to the coast and try to avoid this. Seeming to just pass this entire flotilla, you do still hear more and more the shots coming off of these decks, firing into the water, watching as a few more of the creatures try to swarm it. Finn, with your passive, you are able to see this now. You start noticing around ships, not quite a whirlpool, but something in the water seems to be disturbing it in a large circle. And this is when everyone else starts to notice as well. The merfolk, you are able to see them now. They're not, again, you guys aren't close, but through directions and really just a lot of squinting, you're able to make out that these are merfolk, not anything else, in the ships and hopping off of the decks. Notice, Finn, this large circle gets a little brighter.
Hey, sailors? Is that spot out in the water anything we should be concerned about?
Captain just turns the ship again a little bit more. He goes, "Not for us, as we didn't attack them. They brought that on themselves." And you look back and watch as this giant, almost like a giant fist of water, just smashes right into the middle of the flotilla.
Oh, shit.
Doesn't directly hit any of the ships, but causes enough of just that splashing effect to one of them and knock 2 of them off kilter just a little bit, where they crash into each other.
Wow. Boy, that's just a damn shame the Imperials lost some troops. That's the
Yep,
humanity.
What a shame.
Oh, the humanity.
Yeah.
Well, their actions must have consequences. And some consequences for us. They picked that fight, and now they are not capable of picking fights with those who deserve it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he just goes back to quietly steering. Seems to just kind of contemplate it. He seems a little more cautious now. As you notice, he was pretty relaxed before. A sharper eye now. Kind of keenness to his eyesight that you didn't quite notice before due to his age and the fact that he's blue. But still mid-afternoon. If anyone feels like doing anything else?
Not really, just keeping a closer eye out now.
Okay. Go ahead and roll another perception check.
That's
22.
better.
You out, and you're able to see a couple of finned kind of pop up from the water. Not close to you guys. They're about 500 meters off the bows. Keeping their distance. Just looks like they're kind of far enough away not to seem like a threat. And you're able to see, because you rolled high enough, and Finn, you rolled high enough as well. You see as they pop up, appears to be the faces of the merfolk, the ones that were just fighting this flotilla. Not seem to engage. It looks like they're just kind of checking out who you are. And you watch. There's about 4 of them that are just kind of, on different sides of the boat. Eventually, the 2 farther back kind of just break off and start heading out into deeper water. The other 2 kind of keep with you for a little bit and eventually give up and head back to where they're originally were as well.
Okay.
They seem to have deemed you not a threat.
Cool. She'll go back to whatever she was doing before, which is basically nothing.
Staring at people.
Yep.
Yeah.
Awkwardly.
Yep.
All right. You continue your afternoon of awkward staring and unsettling a few of the deckhands as they kind of like see you staring and they're just like, oh, okay, well, we're gonna go back to this. Anything else anyone's doing?
So, Garuk, you're from Quarter, right?
Yeah.
What's it like? I mean, like
It's alright.
you looking forward to getting back home?
No, not really.
Oh, that's reassuring. Anything we need to be concerned about?
Not really.
You just hate it there, or?
Yeah, I really don't like it there.
That's fair.
Actually, roll a history check. You know a little, based on Hilltown and its business dealings. You know a little bit.
God.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well,
No,
I know
oh, no,
Kendall knows
Yeah.
everything you know about.
Oh.
I've already sent everything to you. So,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Finn, you're Hilltown born and bred. It's like it was where you're from, so you didn't spend traveling until recently, and Corda didn't exactly sound like the best place. Based on some of your travels, you've heard a few rumors. It seems to have gotten neatly. It's under a new governor at the moment by the name of Veshran, who is actually a tiefling, which is kind of a huge deal considering the entire empire is dominated by humans. But part of that also has to do with the fact that when he became governor, he immediately legalized a drug that you are familiar with by the name of red root.
Ooh.
Hallucinogen that essentially is just smoked, occasionally just burnt in as kind of an incense to give a general air. But it's just kind of a relaxing anti-anxiety medicine that several religious factions are really opposed to. Legalized it and used that money to try and benefit the city of Corda.
Probably made him as many enemies as it did friends. Because I know most of the fucking crime guilds like moving that shit. Now take too kindly when they make it legal.
Yeah, it had its benefits and its downsides to doing that. But you're also aware with how in tune you are with the criminal elements. Legalization in one province didn't affect much in other provinces. In fact, it kind of just all it really did was just mean, hey, we can also sell it over here and not get in trouble.
Oh, we can buy
So
it
just
legally
open
in Corda and then sell it everywhere else.
That too. Yeah, there's a bit of a trafficking market as well.
Like Colorado with weed.
It's almost like I might have modeled it after Colorado.
Wow.
Oh my.
Yeah. I know. You never have to ask like anybody about weed from the past 5 years. Like, where'd you get this shit? Colorado.
But
I guess one of the cats I go with gets it in California. Thank you, FedEx.
my sister apparently tried edibles last night, and apparently they did not affect her at all. She was kind of pissed.
Oh, that's disappointing.
Tell her to take a Rantadine, like one of those Zantacs. Apparently, if edibles, like if your stomach's real acidic, it'll break it down too fast and doesn't soak in. So, I read on some forums that if you pop like a Zantac before you eat your edibles, it'll give it more time for the THC to soak in.
I'll let her know. Yeah, she tried 2 of them last night. She was like, I'm kind of pissed. I spent money on these.
Yeah.
But
Mm.
what you've heard about Corda, it seems like a really nice place. It seems like it's kind of trying to turn around the reputation it's had as just a bigger version of Marshtown, and it seems to be doing pretty well. Experience you had with some of the robbing the upper class in Hilltown, you knew that a couple of them liked to vacation to Corda.
Nice.
So seems like a city that ought to be an interesting place to go.
Fucking big step up from Marshtown.
It's definitely that. Size-wise, it's actually about twice the size.
Nice.
At least, from what you at least know, at least twice the size. I
Nice.
can't
Probably
remember.
smells half as much like a fart.
Let's see. There's that population. I need to start keeping this one open more often so I can actually. Okay, yeah, it's 3 times the size actually. So
how much bigger is Hilltown?
Hilltown. If I have I think I already put that on there. 1 second. Hilltown, okay, so for reference, Marshtown was about 10 to 15,000 people, somewhere in that range. The census wasn't exactly very accurate there, so somewhere around there, though. Corda is about 45,000, pretty big size city. So you're used to a sprawling, like, metropolis across all these hills in the center of the empire. But Corda, from what you're aware of, it's kind of built into a cliffside on the coast.
Cool.
A pretty big place, and it kind of makes use of that space with how it's built into the cliff.
Nice.
But you guys continue on, just idly chatting and hanging out. And for the record, meals are provided. The cook of the ship does announce when it's not the greatest of fare, but it's passable. I mean, it's probably about the quality that the Drunken Grumpkin had.
Bread and stew.
A couple of times there's fish fillets available,
Nice.
fresh caught. But that concludes the first day, unless anyone has anything else to do.
Nope.
Nope.
Okay. Is anyone staying outside to keep watch, or are you just gonna let the ship do it?
Fuck no, we pay for that shit.
Yeah, the ship got it.
Yep.
Yeah, let the crew do it. Okay. Next morning, wake up. You head over into the mess area and grab a quick breakfast of oatmeal. Surprisingly,
Oh.
it's surprising for mainly Finn, who hasn't had it since leaving Hilltown, because oatmeal is mainly a Central Empire delicacy. Not delicacy, but
Staple.
yeah.
Lots of oats around.
But
Sweet.
most people eat oatmeal, mainly
I've
because
had oatmeal in a minute.
you guys enjoy your breakfasts. The rest of the day is yours. What would you like to do?
Oh man, probably just the same thing I was doing yesterday.
I was about to say the same thing. Same thing I was doing yesterday.
just like sitting around.
Yeah.
I'll have Joe roll one more animal handling check, see if he can get Kisa under control.
It's gonna be a 10.
Can I help him? Like understanding what her wants and needs are.
I mean,
Yes,
can't you
I
just
will-
talk to her?
Yeah, I can just talk
What's
to
your
her.
fucking problem, dog?
I could technically talk to her. I have speak with animals, so.
I mean, I can just do it because
That's much better.
Yeah, like occasionally listening to the advice of your sister in how to handle wolves and dangerous creatures like this, you get a little. She's calmed down now. She's not as irritable. Doesn't seem like she's too thrilled about the whole, still surrounded by water thing. No, a little easier. Haruk, Finn, what are you guys doing? With the dog.
Just fucking passing the time.
Alright.
Yeah.
Probably dick around with my mage hand spell. Just picking shit up.
Okay. The first couple times you do it, the crew starts like randomly just staring at the object because I don't think Mage Hand is it doesn't. It's not a visible hand. It just kind of moves it.
Yeah.
And stuff get moved, and they're
I'll stop.
kind of freaking out a little bit. And after like the third or fourth time, and they're getting like they seem to get. The captain just starts laughing. He goes, "Oh, don't be superstitious, you fools! It's just magic."
Nice.
He just kind of nods at you. He goes, "Go ahead. Just don't do anything to hurt my ship or damage my crew."
Oh. No, not at all. Just fucking bored, man.
That I can
anything
understand.
you need to do? I'm just like there's only so much sitting around.
Well, it is actually, I took the night shift last night, so I'm about to head down for a nap and let my quartermaster take over for a bit. But I'm good. Thank you for asking.
Yeah.
You seem a little more sharp-eyed than the rest of your friends. Can I ask you a favor?
Yeah.
Keep an eye out for things. As much as I do not like the Navy and some of its practices, it does keep the waterways safe, and without that flotilla going around, it may be closer till quarter till we see another. I would hope that we are not under attack by anything, but just to be safe.
Yeah, I'll keep my eyes peeled.
I appreciate that. And he calls for his quartermaster and comes over and takes over the wheel and says, I will bid you good night for a little bit then, and heads down deck to the captain's quarters.
Cool. I'll go ahead and summon Elvis out of his little pocket.
Sure.
Like someplace
Elvis
out of the way. Hey,
in a little
buddy.
spot towards the front of the ship that no one seems to be occupying. Just kind of playing with Elvis a little bit. Just kind of looking around. He's kind of curious about staring at him because, you know, it's a tiny dragon.
Oh, I bet there's rats down below. You want to go eat some rats, buddy?
He kind of looks at you, and the feeling, like, the physical form of the dragon is interested in the rats, but you get that Fey mentality talking to you a little bit. It's like, don't condescend me.
I condescend you, dude. All this fucking weird little flying dragon. I don't want to kill rats, too.
Just kind of, like, curious if you're ordering him to go do that.
No, don't be shitty. I'm just asking. Figured you were probably going to get bored just like I was.
Just kind of looking around a little bit.
Yeah.
I am going to have you roll a perception check real quick. There, 1 second, because again, it didn't save this. What the hell?
I was so pissed when I did everybody's fucking sheets on Roll20 and half of them didn't go.
Yeah. Okay, there we go.
Quick note, don't leave Roll20 open overnight, because apparently it does not do well being left open for that long.
Yeah, I've heard that.
At least if you update like 5 people's character sheets and then don't leave the game, it will fucking lose everything you did overnight.
Okay. As you're kind of keeping an eye out, Finn, just, you know, chilling out with Elvis, watching as the twins mess around with Kisa a little bit, try to train her. Like, just for reference. Nope.
What?
I think we're losing bits and pieces of what you said. Say that all again.
Yeah.
Cutting
Yeah.
in and out, sorry.
So, Elvis up at the deck, just kind of chilling out, keeping an eye out on things. While the twins are messing around with Kisa. Kendall, what are you doing?
Just walking around, watching.
All right, you go ahead and roll a perception check as well. Natural 1. Contrary to yesterday, you had a pretty good, sure footing on keeping an eye out for those ships. This time, it's getting to you a little bit today. Waves aren't quite they're just a little choppier, and it's just enough that every time you're trying to get your bearings and spot things, line, so you're not really able to observe too much out in the water. But Finn, since you're sitting down and you're a bit in a steadier position, and you're kind of glancing around in the ocean and everything, you see what looks like a fin 20, 30 feet off of the port side of the bow. Water a little bit and drops back down into the water.
I'll send Elvis up. And then look through his eyes.
Alright, go ahead and roll a perception check for him.
I don't know why he's on advantage, but he got a 17.
Okay. Are you just looking on that one side, or are you looking all around the ship?
I'm looking all around the ship. I'll send him up in the typical, like, circle pattern.
As you do that, he starts trying to keep an eye out for things.
I had him toggled onto advantage, that's why it was advantage, so I took that off.
As he is kind of circling around where you just saw, he doesn't seem to see anything.
I'll whistle and holler at everybody else in the crew. Not the crew, but like my squad.
Okay.
Like Taylor, Tyler, and Grook. Like, hey.
We need a group name yet, damn it.
What?
I saw something weird, like another fin off the side, but it dipped under,
a-
so...
Like a fish?
I don't know, I'm not a fucking fish specialist. It was a fin sticking up out of the water,
Like a shark.
and then it went under. I don't know, sure, like a shark. Do sharks have
A
fins?
shark is a fish.
Okay, well again, not a fish expert. Could have been a shark.
Dolphin, whale.
Yes.
Hey, dolphins and whales are mammals. Okay.
Thank you, Krat sister. Nobody gives a shit. I saw a fin off the side of the boat.
Was
Alright, let
it
me see.
big, small? Do you have
Medium.
any idea on size?
Bigger than I would be fucking comfortable swimming with.
Tyler will walk over where he is and try to see if she can see anything.
Yeah, I'd go over and look too.
Okay, I got Elvis circling around, so.
Go ahead and both of you roll perception checks. Finn, go ahead and roll another perception check for Elvis as well.
There's me.
Screw you, Roll20.
I know, what the fuck?
Roll20 hates me. It's been consistent for the last 3 weeks. I can't roll shit except for maybe attacks that have like a +10.
I can only roll well with Ari. That's it.
As the three of you and Elvis all start keeping an eye out for things, the three of you on the port side over and you see another fin, and then another fin following that, and then a third fin, like a triangular pattern. All seem to be about 20 to 30 feet off of the bow, breaking it. Let me see, what'd you get? Yeah. You'd know, Tyler, given your... Actually, no, go ahead and roll a nature check real quick. Call nature checks out, so...
See if it takes a second to load. Alright, oh.
Even roll 20 is like,
There we go.
we never do nature checks. Wait a
I
minute.
know, what the hell?
Glancing at it, as you see the fins kind of break the water, kind of hard to make out what exactly it is. It doesn't look like a shark. It's shark-like, let's put it that way. It is vaguely shark-like, but you've seen at least some diagrams, and growing up out in Elvenon, which is a port city, you have seen sharks before. Have kind of a distinctive fin pattern to them in the tail and everything. This is a little different. And as you're kind of watching them break the water every once in a while, they're kind of this sickly, almost like a aquamarine, like greenish blue color, typical of sharks that you've ever seen, at least not on the eastern side of the Empire. Additionally, they're kind of breaking the water more like dolphins do whenever they kind of just poke their fin out, as opposed to when sharks do it, where they stay consistently up at the same level down under. And occasionally glancing through Elvis's eyes, Finn, you notice that he spots another 4 fins breaking the water well.
Tyler's just gonna go, hey, Captain.
Quartermaster, yeah, acting captain.
So,
There's about 7 fish-like things off the side that appear to be staying close to us. You're more of an expert. It's like a sharkish-looking thing. I don't know. Tyler, tell him what. Since you're
I
the fucking
explain
fish
what's
expert.
happening.
that can't be. When he goes, walks over, kind of leaves the ship wheel for a second, goes over to the
Safe.
and pulls out the telescope, trying to watch for where you're kind of directing. And as he does, you watch as a spear flies out from the water and takes him right in the stomach.
Oh, shit.
About 15 feet, and he just kind of looks down and goes, "Oh,
Shit.
Are you
it's
okay?
a crew yell. One of the crew members yells, "We're under attack!" As you watch of these vaguely fish-like humanoid creatures deck.
Yes. I'm dumping. Fuck these bitches. I'm shooting.
Climbing up to join you guys, and that is when we're going to roll initiative. Which, let me turn. Okay, Tyler, go ahead and, roll it one more time.
How do I make sure it gets in the little box?
Yeah.
Select your token, and then,
The
roll.
token. It's the map.
That's, yep,
That will make sense.
There
I
you
was
go.
I was actively moving tokens the entire time we were doing this, and I didn't
no
realize
shit.
you guys were not on this.
Not even a little bit. That's not a big deal. I'm used to fucking tabletop. I was fine with all imagination.
Fuck you, roll 20.
It's alright, mine is more or less the same when I rolled the first time.
Tyler, what is your what's your dex?
14?
You are going before them. Other than that, look at that! It ordered everything. The deckhands they're not exactly equipped for battle right now. They just kind of have daggers and everything, so they're trying to, get up a little higher into the rigging, and they're just kind of occasionally chucking daggers. So, round, Garuk, you currently have one of these like fish-like humanoids. It kind of looks at you. It's got a very fish-like body for the most part. There's a long, scaly tail, fins all around it. The face looks almost like a catfish, but with more humanoid features, and it's kind of angrily glaring at you with just rows and rows of shark teeth. It's kind of wearing a leather vest and holding a spear in its hand, and it just kind of like screeches at you in this weird, like, voice. What would you like to do?
In which direction did you say? Because you cut out at that point.
You have, all right, so this is you over here.
Yeah.
So you have one immediately to your left, immediately to your right, and it sounds
Yeah.
like you have two behind you as well.
Oh, lovely. I will take the one immediately to my right, and I'll pull out my 2 daggers and I'll stab it.
Okay, go ahead and make your first dagger attack.
Wait. Oh. Well.
You too, that's a hit. Go ahead and roll damage. Alright, 8. As it just came out of the water, it was getting ready to get its bearings on this deck and start attacking who was on there. You immediately run up and just quickly thrust a dagger right into its stomach. It just kind of screeches in this gurgling voice. Even louder now that you're much closer to it. Go ahead, if you're wanting to make a second attack, go ahead and make your second dagger attack.
Yeah.
10, that does not hit. Flash, this time it brings the spear and just manages to knock your arm out of the way, trying to put some distance in between you and it, pushing you back just a step in order to keep you back enough. Kendall, any movement? Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
And you immediately have one on, like as it just crawled onto the deck, looking down at you with its spear and its ugly shark fish-like mouth. Seems to be grinning a little bit. What would you like to do?
I'm assuming using my invocations is a move, is an action, right?
Yes, I believe it should say in the invocation.
It does not. Oh yeah, it's basically mage armor, which is an action.
Yep, that would be.
Fook. That's an action. Shit. Well. Okay. I'm gonna use my. Fuck it, I got an armor up. So
Alright.
I'll use my Armor of Shadows. I believe is what's called Armor Shadows, and I'll move. They're not like engaged with me, right? So if I move, they're not gonna get.
That one is engaged with you. It literally climbed onto the deck right in front of you.
Shit. Well, I guess I'm just gonna stand there then, because I'm not giving him a fucking. You know what? Fuck it. Yeah, I'm gonna move back.
Okay.
Like, this way.
All right, it's going to go ahead and, as you're trying to back out, it's going to make a jab with its spear. Immediately miss. It seems to not quite have its footing yet, and as it lunges out, almost trips and falls down, but kind of collects itself and is just like growling at you.
You missed me, bitch.
Taylor, this is your turn. You immediately have one right on you to your left. That's kind of bearing down on you and stabbed by Garuk. But
Okay, I'll take a shot at him, I guess.
all right, go ahead and make your attack with disadvantage because you are within 5 feet of him.
Maybe I should actually just use my hand axe instead.
That is your decision. 19, that hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
Woohoo.
Okay, all damage is damage.
Yeah.
It's kind of a little disoriented from being stabbed earlier. You managed to just run up and jab it with the axe, slamming it down into one of the arms, pulling back, leaving a nice little gash. It hurt it. It's bleeding this kind of like sickly greenish blood. It just kind of looks at you and it's just like, "Argh." Anything else?
No, that'll be it.
Tyler, it is your turn. You have one on each side of you, about 10 feet away.
Alright, I'm gonna throw down a moonbeam on this guy.
All right. Let's see.
Wow, really good roll there.
Yeah, really. What isn't it? 2d10?
But yeah, Yeah.
How big is the moonbeam? I can never remember.
the 5-foot radius.
5-foot radius.
So
So
it's on him, and it's he rolls it when he starts a turn or moves into it.
Go. Okay, so he needs a con save. So he takes 2 damage.
Woo!
You call down this moonbeam, and as you kind of look up, the strongest thing to call down being that it's, like,
Midday.
yeah, like it's right before noon.
You know.
Really not present, but I mean, something kind of shoots down from the sky and kind of surrounds it. It's kind of a faint light more than like a radiant beam. But it kind of singes part of his skin and crackles, and he just kind of like, ah!
Oh fuck. And that's her turn.
Okay. That brings us to this now whenever they move into the beam, or is it on when they start their turn in it?
It's when they start their turn and or when they move in.
Okay. So moving out of it would...
I don't think moving out of it does anything. But if he
Okay.
starts his
Well,
turn,
he started his turn in it, so go ahead and roll damage again. So he takes 5 damage this time. Yeah, that's better. Starts trying to move out of the beam. It intensifies just a little bit, and he kind of gets singed a little bit more. Seems to get a little angrier. Move into the deck and jab at you. So a claw attack.
yeah, that'll do it.
You take 7 points of piercing damage as he stabs the spear into you. And while he kind of has you pinned there for a second, immediately follows up with a slash of his claws. Which, ignore that number, it is...
Yep.
1.
Ow.
So, 9 points of piercing damage, or 9 points of slashing damage. Follows up and rakes his claws across your chest.
Ow.
These two are going to move up on Finn.
Oh, of course they are.
One's going to go ahead and try to pin you with the spear. But you see it coming and you quickly just dodge out of the way, managing to block it. He's going to follow up with a bite attack.
Fucking 17 hits. Just.
Take 3 points of piercing damage as he stabbed down with the spear. He missed, but it gave him just enough of an opening to just kind of bite down onto your shoulder with his mouth. And that's when the
how
second
do
one...
reaction spells work?
You could, if you have a reaction spell, you could use it right now.
Yeah. Fuck your filthy fish mother, fish fuck dickhead. And use a hellish rebuke on him.
Wow.
All right. That, yeah.
Wow.
I point my finger and he damaged me. Is surrounded by hellish flame. He has to make a dex saving throw. Hang on,
I'm assuming that's a fail. Yeah, that's a fail. So he takes the full 15 of fire damage.
Yes.
That is...
Oh wait, would that be? It should be more than that because that should have been cast at a level 2 spell slot.
Right.
So it should have been. Hold on. Add another D10 onto that. So
And
roll
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 yeah,
a D10.
Yeah, roll your d10.
10 more. Haha. Get fucked.
Bites into your shoulder. You immediately just launch a string of curses at him, and you watch as just this blazing fire engulfs him, and just in an instant drops down to a pile of ash.
Spitting on it.
Second one just kind of stares. The second one just kind of stares at the pile of ash, kind of looks at it, looks at you, stab you.
I do the fucking come get some gesture because fuck this guy. He's getting it next. Oh,
22.
shit. That hits. Faux show.
Points of piercing damage as he manages to jab the blade of the spear into your leg. He's going to follow up with a bite attack as well. But you manage to just pull the spear out and push him back, keeping him just far enough away that his bite misses you. Kisa, who's just kind of over here chilling, is about to get attacked by one of them as well. Assuming that hits her armor class.
Definitely.
Okay. She takes 4 points of piercing damage. It's just gonna kind of look around and sniff at it a little bit. Kisa's like, as it just got stabbed and is now being, sniffed at. these two over here to attack Garuk. So 13 and 12 both miss you, I think, Garuk, right?
Yeah, I got 16.
All right, the first one trying to jab down, you just... as its bite comes following after it, as the second one gets ready as well. Trying to bite... the first one goes for the bite first, and you just managed to duck out of its way, but you didn't see the spear getting jabbed into your abdomen. As you take 11 points of piercing damage as the spear sinks into you.
Woof.
Ow.
And this one over here is immediately going to attack at Joe, who just hit it with an axe a second ago. And missed both. Showing a little more dexterous ability with your hand axe than you previously thought you had. You managed to just parry the spear out of the way, managed to use the back of the axe to just knock its jaw out away from you as you're trying to fend off this attack. So have not been able to hurt you. Garuk.
I'm going to attack one. Shit, right there.
One.
I do it. The one to my left, no, right.
Okay, so this one.
Yes.
Hold on. Oh yeah, that one. Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll your. All right, go ahead and roll your dagger attack. 19's a hit. Go ahead and roll. 9 points of piercing damage. Getting a little bit of vengeance after having been jabbed in the gut, you quickly follow up, slashing it across the chest, cutting open a pretty good little section of its fish-like body. As... one second. Managing to cut open a nice little section of it. Movement.
Yeah.
What are you doing? All right.
Another attack. Oh.
That just yeah, it hits. Okay, go ahead and roll damage. 9 points of piercing damage. Cutting yet another slash, following up into that one, managing to actually open the slash you already have on it even wider, and damaging it pretty well. That one's looking pretty rough.
Okay, and I'm there.
All right, 2 of them are going to try and attack you as you do. Actually, all 3 of them could attack you, though. Attacks of opportunity.
Yeah.
They're just going to reach out with their claws. Hold on. You've taken damage, haven't you?
Yes.
Okay, so these ones are going to be at advantage then. So that's one attack. So does a 17 hit?
Yeah, 17 hits, the 12 does not.
Well, that's one attack. That's one attack with advantage. So
Okay.
you take 3 points of slashing damage.
Yay.
Reaches out. Come on, there we go. 19.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come on. There we go. You take 4 points of slashing damage as the second one rakes its claws across your armor, managing to pierce through it and beneath as you back up. Any other movement, or?
Nope.
Finn, you're up. You've still got one in front of you. It looks like Garuk is now immediately behind you, having backed away from several of them.
How does Elvis go? Does he
I don't remember
go
if he
on my
goes-
initiative? It's up to you. I mean, it's whatever's easiest. I can roll his own initiative, or
I'll have him go on your initiative for the sake of it.
okay.
Mainly
Yeah,
because
then
you
I'm
have an
gonna
Elvis
have
token
him
yet.
swoop in and attack this dickhead that's facing me with his bite. Can he do both his bite and his claw?
Does he have multi-attack?
Uh,
Should say on there.
I don't think so.
No. So it's either bite or sting.
Yeah, he's gonna sting.
All right. Go ahead and roll your attack.
I did. Did that work?
It did not.
It
Tries
missed.
to go in. He's
worked.
trying to go for the sting, and just to be a little wary of you now, and it hears it coming and just manages to duck out of the way as the stinger comes in.
I'm blasting him in the face with my Eldritch Blast.
All right. Does that have a penalty for being used at close range? It should.
It doesn't say, I don't think.
I feel like it's
So
not.
I guess I don't know. I mean, I guess is there a base like ranged attack at up close penalty?
Okay. It does have. Yeah, it is. It will be a disadvantage because it's close range.
Okay. Well, I guess I can't move back far enough for it to not be close range, right?
You could. You'd be in combat with another one, but
Well, if I go this way.
that would put all of them at range, and yeah, he'd get that one attack of opportunity again. But you could do it.
Okay. Yeah. I'll just
Alright.
do that.
He'll reach out with. Right.
Nope.
So-
Now I'm gonna blast. Woo! I'm assuming that hits.
Yeah, that does hit. Which this is number 3.
Hey, Kendall, don't forget you on your bonus action you can disengage every turn.
Not when he attacks twice.
Oh, because he attacks
Yeah.
twice.
Yep, rogues are a little different.
That's right.
Yeah, they can get that bonus action attack, but
Oh, that's right, because the bonus action's to attack. Got it.
so you manage to back up, narrowly avoiding a spear thrust as you do, but you get back up onto the bow of the ship and fire your Eldritch Blast right at him. It hits him in the chest, and you hear a couple of the fish-like bones kind of break. In fact, you see one of them up near what would be his like clavicle area kind of break through the skin a little bit with the force of the impact. Doesn't look too pleased at that.
Cool. Fuck him.
Taylor, it is your turn.
I'll give him the finger with my bonus action.
Same thing that I did last round.
Hand axe, all right. 21, that's a hit.
Super damage. Gonna take him down in a month.
Super.
You bring you're kind of displaying like bouts of knowing how to use this hand axe. You're not very accustomed to it. You're more accustomed to the bow, like your father before you. But you kind of ducking out of the way of some of these spear thrusts. You just quick finger, bring the axe down, and it connects right into the fish's skull. Just his eyes, just kind of what little life there was in his beady black eyes, just goes lifeless, and the body drops to the ground. All right. Any movement or?
No, but I'm going to use Hunter's Mark on this guy. He hit my wolf.
Yes, he did.
I can't let him live.
Hunter's marked. All right. Tyler, your go.
Alright, I'm gonna bring out my bear spirit totem. And then it.
I was gonna say, you
Okay, there.
tune your allies. Creature your choice in the aura. How big is the aura?
30-foot radius.
Okay, so yeah,
So
it gets
all of
it
my
gets
allies.
yeah, it gets everything. Is it a concentration thing? Because that
It
will determine
is.
whether or not your moonbeam.
It is not. Says it just it's not a
Okay,
So we're
so it's it's just an aura that's there.
yeah
Okay,
for 1 minute or until I'm incapacitated.
All right, so everyone gets everyone gets 9 temporary hit points.
Woo!
And you feel a bit rejuvenated and a little stronger, actually, kind of like pumped up, as you just hear this deep bear roar emanate out of Tyler's mouth. Like, they're kind of looking around. They look at each other. They look at her, and they're like, "What the hell?" And you kind of look up, like Finn. You kind of get a look over at her, and she just looks like feral at this moment, like a wild animal about to be unleashed.
Is it weird that it's kind of hot?
Not weird at all.
According to Kendall, no, furries are totally a thing.
Oh my god!
Well, now that's taking it a bit too far.
Oh my god!
Bonus action, anything? Or movement?
Nope, that's my turn. I'm staying here.
Alright, Moonbeam stays where it's at. So
Yes,
Hagwin,
now.
that first one is going to go ahead and attack you. You've taken damage, so it gets advantage. First attack with spear, and then the bite. If it rolls them ever. Either of
The bite hits.
bite hits. Tries to stab down, but you're kind of feral at this point. You just kind of knock the spear out of the way. It gets feral as well and tries to bite at you and manages to just kind of nibble onto your arm a little bit, pull away some of the flesh for 3 points.
Alright.
That second one over here, it's thin after having some of its bones cracked. So it's going to charge, but the both of you get attacks of opportunity on it.
Sweet.
Oh, also, I should probably
with
roll
a nail.
a con save, right?
Wait, who's rolling a con save?
Tyler, right?
Oh, yeah, that's right. You need to roll a concentration check. You literally only needed like a 10.
I know.
Well, Moonbeam, you watch as the vaguely, like, kind of pitiful Moonbeam just kind of
So sad.
poofs away
Winks
into
out.
the sunlight.
Can cantrips be attacks of opportunity?
Not without a special feat. There's a feat for that.
Oh, well, fuck.
Yep.
Does Elvis get a shot? Because
so,
Elvis is floating around.
yep, Elvis would get an attack, and so would Taylor and Tyler both get an
Woo.
attack. 20 hits.
Get him, Elvis! Fuck him up!
I'm assuming a 19 hit.
Once again, fuck you, roll 20.
You lunge out with this hand axe, and you don't manage to do anything. But you manage to try and trip it up, Tyler, and stumbles enough. You kind of damage one of its legs.
Don't forget that saving throw.
Counting up damage right now.
Poisoned.
So
Maybe it's just dad.
okay, so Constitution save DC 11.
Well, shit.
It succeeds.
Hmm.
So
Well, I
it
guess
shrugs off the poison a little bit as it charges at you.
if I don't have a weapon, I can't like quick draw it on an attack of opportunity, right?
You wouldn't get an attack of opportunity anyway, since it's
Oh,
charging
wouldn't?
at you.
Oh, so
No,
it's charging at me. Gotcha.
Yep. So it's going to go ahead and spear bite. Shh.
Ah.
Have you taken damage?
Yes.
Okay, so hold on I gotta roll. Okay, so 16 for the spear.
Yep.
Does
no.
it?
No, it does not hit. I'm 17.
Okay. So it tries to jab down with the spear, and it looks like it's just about to hit you, but you watch as this just shimmering black armor, your mage armor, appears in place right where it was stabbed and manages to repel it. As it quickly follows up with a bite, you just manage to knock it out of the way, kind of just deflecting its mouth so it latches onto a piece of wood instead. Pulling back away and just looks at you pissed off.
He's getting the Matumbo finger wag.
These two are going to move up on Garuk again.
Congratulations, Greek. You just became the tank.
Which Karuk's taking damage, so
Mm-hmm.
All right, the
Spear
Texas
and
Gangster's
bite.
puking still.
Yeah. Thanks, Chase. You dickhead.
Fucking asshole.
yeah, he's off getting his asshole bleached for a date. So
Well, I mean, guess you can't really knock that one.
Oh, I can.
yeah, I
To
don't
date
actually.
with his hand, I can knock it.
I got no idea.
Hey, self-love is very important. If that's
It
what
is,
it
but
takes
you don't put off your
to
friends
make
for
him
that.
feel pretty, maybe he
That's
needs
fair.
some time. Maybe he's been
That's
having
fair.
a rough spell. Maybe it's like, you know what, I need a little self-love tonight. I'm going to get my butthole bleached and then go rub one out.
I mean,
Maybe.
Aren't you glad he's not playing the game at the same time? Because that's way
Yeah.
worse.
That's
It'd be
yeah.
really
That's
fun
all.
if he actually comes
Is
back
that
and
a,
listens to
what's
this
that
recording.
slapping sound?
That's ugh. Oh man, I don't need that in
as
my
long as
mind.
it don't smell. He can't stand the smell.
What's your armor class, Karuk?
16.
Okay, so that first one misses completely as you manage to just keep backing up, ducking out of the way. The second one attacks. Manages to stab you for another 6 points of damage. This one up here is going to go ahead and attack Kisa again. Which she's taking damage, so
She also gained 9 temporary hit points, by the way.
go keep that in mind.
Okay.
Both of those hit. And wow.
Go big.
Talk about a fucking luck roll for you.
Yeah. Death of 1,000 cuts.
So she still has 4 temporary hit points left.
And she kind of hurt by this whole, getting stabbed and then sniffed thing. She, moves out of the way. Gets cut a little bit more and bit on, but previously. So, top of the round. Now, it's been long enough that the crew has been kind of watching as you guys fight them, but they're kind of in the position now where they're starting to fire down and throw daggers and try to assist on this. You watch as one of them, 2 arrows to the chest, and just falls over dead.
Yes.
Another one takes 2 daggers. Sorry, I'm trying to keep all of these monitored. One of them takes 2 daggers to the back and it's kind of staggered as it's moving on you, Garuk, but still standing. A couple more take a little bit of damage, getting some scrapes and cuts on them. Updating all their health.
Did you delete the one that had the turn order linked to it?
I might have, yes.
Oh,
Certainly
yeah,
did. That-
sure
yeah, I
did.
But they're going last, so I can remember that. Top of the round, Karuk. As you're having 2 bear down on you, and you're technically in combat with 3 of them, like in combat range. Just one of them's more focused on the dog than you.
I'm going to attack the one directly in front of me. He's a piece
All right.
of shit. Alright.
13 hits. Go ahead and roll damage. And managed to draw, or this time going for the stab, managing to get it right into the abdomen as well. You hear this kind of like sick gurgling noise as you pull the blade out. Indle, are you attacking again?
Oh, yeah.
Yep. As you're hearing this gurgling noise pulling that first dagger out, you quickly thrust, thinking you hit something pretty important there. You thrust the second dagger just adjacent to it, and you can feel through the blade as the heart inside quivers and stops. Its fishy body just falls dead in front of you.
Fucker.
Movement, or are you good?
I I'm good.
Finn, you're up.
I'm gonna
In front of you.
blast.
Die.
This dude's been hit before, right?
Yes, he
I'm
has.
shooting that bitch in the back.
Go ahead and make your attack. 19 hits. Go ahead and roll damage. 9. Managing to blast it in the back, you hear as part of its spine just kind of cracks. Doesn't quite break, but does make this sickening noise as it hits, and you watch as some of the muscle starts to darken with a bruise. It's pushed forward. Tyler.
And then Elvis swoops in and botches and fucking misses.
Yep.
God.
It doesn't even notice Elvis's presence and the pain that you've dealt it. Tyler, you're up.
I'm gonna move up a little bit and shoot the bitch with Hunter's Mark.
Alright, go ahead and roll. Not at disadvantage this time. It's 8 points of piercing damage. You're kind of pissed off about the fact that he was attacking Kisa, so quickly just rolling out of the way behind Garuk, quickly drawing a line with your bow, firing the arrow. You know before you even fire it that it's a hit. And watching as that arrow hits the spot in between the skull and spine, drops to the floor.
Nobody hits my wolf. And,
Bonus action, if I remember, you can move Hunter's Mark with bonus action.
yes, I'll move it down to the guy below.
One attacking Garuk, or... Yep, alright. Any more movement, or...
No, I'm fine right here.
Alright. Tyler, as you're pissed off in bear mode.
Yeah, Primal Savagery on this guy.
Oh yeah, that hits.
Okay.
Just barely.
4 points of acid damage. Quickly, just in this fury, slashing at it with these elongated claws, drawing just a huge gory mess across its front, and burn away as it just stops moving and collapses to the ground. The occasional like quiver as this acid is bleeding through its chest.
Nice, and I'll go ahead and face step over here,
Okay.
and that's my turn.
Right. It now is
Fucking
the
teleport.
one fish's turn. Sees, multiple dead companions and one pile of ashes over there. It's gonna try and swim the fuck away. Garuk, you get an attack of opportunity as it's trying to jump overboard away from you. It will get attacked. 19. Go ahead and roll damage. 7. Managing to stab it right into the back and nick part of the spine, almost getting stuck in the spinal column itself, but the blade gets pulled out with a piece of flesh onto it. Its fall into the water isn't graceful, but it still seems to be kind of in control. It lands into the water with a large, very ungraceful splash, trying to now swim away. You guys are effectively not in combat anymore. But if anyone wants to try and...
I'm
Yeah,
right
I
on
was-
the side of the ship and shooting a fucking blast at it.
Well, I'm
Fuck
gonna shoot
this
an arrow.
Go ahead and roll an attack, now at disadvantage, as it is under the waves a little bit, trying to get some distance.
No,
Taylor, yours is not, because I'm going to say for the fact that you have Hunter's Mark, you're aware of where it is, and you're able to kind of lead the shot. So, go ahead and roll
19 for
without...
you.
We're going to consider that a botch. Go ahead and roll straight roll.
Yeah.
Oh,
See, you make me re-roll. Fuck you, Roll 20.
Yeah,
Once
it's-
again.
Yeah. Yeah, roll 20 really doesn't like you.
It really doesn't.
You think you've led this shot just perfectly, and it's right when you're about to launch when Kisa kind of comes up and nudges you as like an appreciation for saving her, and your arrow just goes wide.
Shit.
As it's continuing to try and swim away, you watch as several arrows start flying from the crew up in the rigging as it's trying to hit it. One of them sinks down into the water. This growing, expanding pool of greenish water as a body slowly floats to the surface.
I'm shooting it just to be safe.
Mark, you feel your hunter's mark expire. Go ahead and roll an attack. This time not at disadvantage.
Pew!
Hit it and you basically just blow it into chunks.
Just making sure.
Yep. As you guys kind of watch off the bow or the port side, at the chunks of gore and body part and fish blood all across the water, you notice, Tyler, as several very familiar-looking shark fins, occasionally breaching the surface, picking up chunks of where it is, and
Oh, they're
slowly
a
just
shark.
cleaning up the ocean.
I knew they're right here somewhere.
Oh, that's what sharks look like?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, those dudes didn't look at all like sharks.
No.
Do these dudes have anything on? Like, I'm giving them the old pat down.
Go ahead and roll an investigation check. They do have some stuff. Granted, one of them was blown apart in the water, and one of them was completely incinerated, including all of his belongings.
Yeah, well, that's what he fucking gets.
But you start going through some of the other bodies and stuff. They all seem to have just these kind of fishy and very sea-smelling spears. It seems like they were all made underwater for underwater use. Fish spears, though.
I guess I'll toss them in a pile for the crew.
Amongst the rest of the bodies, scattered kind of among them, you managed to find 28 gold pieces, 15 silver, 1 copper.
You said 15 silver?
Yep, 15 silver and 51 copper.
Throwing all this copper overboard. I'll
Alright.
keep change.
All right.
It's my gift to the gods of the deep. We appreciate you sending your foolish children up here to get murdered like the stupid fucking fish that they are. Hey, y'all found money.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yeah, we got paid. Where's that stupid fucking northern idiot? Why are we up here doing all this work? Which, by the way, thanks for chipping in, crew. I expect a little bit of a rebate on my fucking room and board for this trip.
We weren't expecting to fight, Salguin.
Yeah, cool. I paid for passage, not security.
And we pay the Empire for security.
Oh, shit.
Especially for trusting the Empire. They're awful.
I think
One of
that
them,
northerner's downstairs getting sick still.
That bitch better start earning, or we're gonna cut him the fuck loose.
Go bring him a pork sandwich, see if it helps.
As the crew comes down from the rigging and starts just kind of sweeping the blood and guts off of the deck through little portholes in the railings and stuff, you do see some of the fish blood kind of seeps down through some of the holes in the deck and everything, and you guys are eventually able to hear, "Is this?" Ugh," as sounds like he might have discovered fish blood.
I feel better.
Salguin blood. So eventually, Captain Avant-Gardine comes back up, going, "I am so sorry for this attack. Like I said, I was especially hoping something like this would not happen. Quincy of the Imperial Patrols, they normally try to stamp these things out, but looks like the Sahuagin knew attacked."
Yeah, shockingly, the fucking racist-ass Empire starts a fight with innocent fucking other undersea dwellers because they don't discriminate in that way. It's like the only way the fucking Empire doesn't discriminate who they kill.
Kind of looks around. It looks like he kind of agrees with you, but he looks over at a couple of the other crewmen, and there's like 2 younger guys. Look like they might be pretty new hires, and they're just like jaw dropped at you.
I mean, that's what I've heard people say before. Not an opinion. May hold.
He kind of comes up to you. He's like, "I'm not saying I disagree with you, sir, but and where some of these men are from."
Oh no, believe me, I know the fact that I'm human allows me a lot to talk shit that does you guys.
I do not agree with how they treat creatures of the sea. The merfolk especially deserve more respect and perhaps even an alliance, but simply.
Yeah, man, fuck the Empire.
As you say.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. But hopefully the rest of the trip is quieter. I will, now that we know that the waters are not safe, I will have our reserve guard posted up, hopefully to keep watch and ward off any further attacks.
That's
I
cool.
apologize for this inconvenience and any harm that has come to you.
Shit, it's just a normal day for us. That's what we do.
Pretty much.
You seem to know how to handle yourselves in a fight.
Not too bad in a pinch.
We've had our
Appears that
fair
way.
share.
I should see to my fallen quartermaster and make sure that this ship is told. He just kind of walks off and starts kind of just staring over the body of his quartermaster like, oh, mad.
Oh, is he dead?
That died. Spear to the chest.
Yep, he didn't make it.
Every white dude at the end of Avatar, he's got a giant shaft sticking out of his chest, pinning him to the floor. Just, nope.
Oh man, spoilers.
The movie has been out for like a decade.
My
Hold
God.
on. Wait a minute.
I saw that movie so long ago, I legit forgot about that part. I'm like, yeah, sure, that's
Yep, the very end. I'm gonna murder every one of these savages. Oh look, the savages killed me. Like a decade old.
Are they making
Anyway.
like 3 more of those?
Yeah, they are. 2020.
What the shit? Better be
Principal,
pretty goddamn
but don't
good.
worry, principal photography is already done. Now it's just nothing but CGI.
I mean, the
Also-
CGI was pretty dope in that other one.
Oh yeah, no, it's really good CGI. I'm not faulting it. Like I know it's gonna take at least 2 years to get that shit done.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the rest of the day though is yours as the deckhands continue to clear the ship, cleaning it off. A couple of them, the younger ones who were kind of horrified at you, and they're occasionally looking at you like, "Oh my God, how did he say that?" And they're just kind of scrubbing the fish blood out of the deck of the ship.
Remember, boys, this is the Empire's fault.
They scrub faster and just trying to like, "Nope, we're not hearing this."
I'm just trying to clean up Kisa, make sure her wounds are okay.
You take some time. You kind of tend to her wounds. She seems to appreciate it. Seems to have helped the bond a little bit. The fact that you came to her rescue, even though you didn't order her to attack or anything.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Hey, while
even
we're
near
I'm gonna
her.
throw this stupid, ugly hat that weirdo Mia gave me in the ocean.
Okay.
Damn.
Damn.
In clear view of everyone, you watch. You guys all watch as the rest of the deck is being cleaned up. Finn just kind of walks over to the side of the ship and pulls out the very garish hat that Mio gave him and just.
Forgot I had this shit.
I don't know if I dumped the rat yet, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that.
You have not, so yeah, you
So,
go up
yeah,
as
I'm
well and
doing
you
that.
pull out the very dead rat. As well, just kind of
Ugh.
look over at Finn and then throw the rat into the water.
That's what I'm saying,
I'm
man.
gonna consider doing that myself soon if my attacks don't start hitting. I'm gonna get rid of this lucky charm.
Yeah, I mean,
I
yeah,
would do it now.
you unhook the lucky charm and throw it into the water as well.
Hopefully it'll be better.
Yeah, there you go. It's our official goodbye to Mio. Thanks for the memories, buddy. You kicked all that ass, but you were real fucking annoying.
God, I wish Chase was here.
You'll be missed.
It's all right. This will be up on the YouTube in a private room, so he can easily come back and watch this.
That's true. You need to tell him to go watch
Hi.
that. Hey, we did a goodbye to Mio. You guys, you need to watch this. Just
About an hour and a half in.
Memorial service.
we'll gif it.
Shit.
We
There we go.
buried you at sea. Like you're gonna want to see
You're
it.
supposed
It
to
was
spread
touching.
the ashes. No, we spread his gifts.
It was touching in the sense that we had to touch all the stuff that he gave us.
I mean, all things considered, as ugly as that hat was, I think I came out way on top of that whole arrangement.
Yeah, no.
Like,
Compared to
somebody
some
got
of
a
the most.
bag. I guess once you dump all the shit out of it, you can still use the bag. Didn't somebody get like a bag of bones and parts?
I believe that was Garuk, and
I got a skull head and I threw it away immediately.
Oh, that's right.
I got what I marked as a creepy bracelet.
yeah, you did mark that as a creepy bracelet. It was kind of creepy.
Mine was garish hat. It is no longer in my inventory.
Depends when he says I'm going to go buy gifts and stuff, what I think would help them or be kind for them, and then he rolls really poorly on his subsequent checks for those.
That makes sense.
Sucks.
Had him roll an insight check and then an investigation to see what he thought would be nice to get you, and then what he would find, and neither was high. You guys spend
He
the
did
rest
do
of
a
the
good
day.
job of selling it. I
That's
got you
true.
this.
No,
It's very special. Oh, cool.
Before he, overdosed.
Yep.
You know.
It's me
Happens.
things.
Hashtag Mio things.
But the rest of the day is yours if there's anything you guys would like to do. Things seem to have calmed down. There's more of a deckhand presence now. There's a few more of them up in the rigging that don't seem to be doing any of the normal shipman jobs. They're just kind of up there with bow and spear and everything, just kind of watching the horizon, checking for anything that seems to be approaching the ship.
I'll probably just kill time by tuning into Elvis and flying him around in like big circles up ahead of where the ship's headed.
You
Looking
get a
for
pretty
stuff.
the air. Go ahead and roll a quick perception check. But you kind of get the sense as you're flying through the air with all this, a better handling on how capable he is as far as like aerodynamics and experience the sensation of flight through him. It's pretty freeing as you kind of just glide in the air.
Huh.
Keep an eye out for stuff, though. You don't manage to see anything of note on the water.
Woo.
Don't really make anything out on it. You do not see any further ships or anything like that, or any other fins, other than what you've now learned are shark fins.
Shark fins.
You do see
Thanks,
off
Tyler.
a little
Yeah.
less than a mile. You do see the occasional bout of dead fish that seem to be feasted on by sharks.
Something.
Yeah, it seems like they're feeding on something. But
Oh, that's cool.
at one point,
Just watch it.
you look over actually on the starboard side at one point, Tyler, and watch as this massive black and white body breaks the surface as a killer whale just jumps.
She's like squeeing.
You guys all got a glimpse of it too. It was a pretty loud affair. Like this just massive creature of black and white, whatever it is, skin, just breaking from the surface and turning and before it falls back into the water with a loud splash. Some of it managing to get onto the crew and the ship itself. A couple of the crewmen kind of laughing.
Woo!
Tyler's
Oh.
eyes are locked on the sea for like the rest of the time.
The rest of this day, you kind of keep an eye on the ocean and everything. It doesn't look like anything happens. Go through your just whatever you'd like to do for the day. Eventually, getting some dinner before the night comes. Anyone keeping watch, or are you going to let the crew do it?
I'm gonna keep watch. I attempt to.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll take a turn too. So
Okay.
at some point, come
Uh,
get me. Like halfway through the night, come get me.
Yeah.
If it's just the two of us.
You guys, it sounds like so.
I'll do it too. Why not?
Okay.
I said,
Yeah.
Groot, you need to lightly doze for 4 hours, and then you're good to go.
Yeah.
You're just lazy.
Only if that was stronger life.
No shit. Can you imagine? If you just had to like meditate for 4 hours a day, then you'd just be cool.
That'd be the
Kendall
best.
would be way more. You know what? Actually, I'm not sure Kendall would actually be much more efficient. Dude takes like 2 hours to wake up.
I would gain 2 hours of my day.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See?
Kendall legit told me today that he set his alarm for this to wake him up at 4 o'clock to make sure he was actually awake for this.
I mean, I can see that. Well, like awake, he's probably got to take a shit. Maybe want to shower.
No, I know he does stuff like that, but I've also heard him when he like 10 minutes after waking up, he'll hop on Xbox, and he's basically just a large, like, hibernating bear. And he might acknowledge your existence.
You do have a couple fucking kids. They'll straighten that shit out quick. You gotta fucking hop up, ready to roll. I feed those little monsters.
Yeah, no, not our resident Ewok. But for the first part of the night, we'll go ahead and say that Taylor takes first watch. So go ahead and roll a perception check.
I did.
You did. Keeping an eye out, you're able to see some dark. You know, you have dark vision, so you're able to see out. It's not necessary though, because the crew actually has mounted lanterns, kind of acting as spotlights, flashing over parts of the water, just kind of keeping an eye out. You're kind of watching. You see the occasional like blurb of a shark fin. Tyler's taught you how to spot them as well, so you're able to identify, you know, what's fish and now what isn't fish. But that's very much a shark, and just kind of keep watch. Doesn't seem like anything happens. Who's taking next watch?
Is everybody taking a turn? Or is it just me and Taylor?
Tyler's taking one.
I'll take last then.
Okay.
So
Alright,
Taylor can have
Alright.
the old middle.
All right, Tyler, go ahead and roll your perception check.
Alright.
I'd go down and nap while they're taking over.
Okay.
Wow. So good.
Don't
Roll
worry.
20, everybody.
DC on this wasn't high, so you're keeping an eye out as well. Just, you know, watching with the crew, keeping an eye out for things. You notice off in the distance as lanterns. It's kind of just this little blip of light, and you wait a little bit. It starts getting a little bit bigger and a little bit brighter. Eventually, you're able to make out the shape of another ship. And as you get a little bit closer, it's another 3 ships, in fact. All with lanterns similar to the ones that are mounted on your ship, the Mist. Just kind of like spotlights, keeping an eye out. Much as a couple of the crewmen are just kind of look, another Imperial patrol out there.
Huh. Apparently so. She's just gonna, like, put her hood up.
You pull the hood up and everything. You kind of notice no one's really giving you any kind of side eye for any, as far as like staring at you openly. Actually, I would have noticed this a little bit earlier. They kind of watch Garuk a little bit, especially you would notice this, Finn. Those two that seemed like whenever, like during the day as everything was going on, were like really concerned about Garuk and whether or not she was doing anything. You kind of gathered that was probably the whole like she's an elf thing. So.
That makes sense.
Watches this other Imperial naval flotilla just kind of passes in the night. Doesn't seem to make any approaches towards you. You guys do get about a mile within each other, and a series of flashes on one of the lanterns gets shot over towards your ship, almost in a pattern. Not anything you're able to kind of understand, as you're not too versed in any kind of ship communication, but one of the crewmen just kind of go over to one of his lanterns, turn it over towards that ship, and send another series of flashes over to the flotilla as well. Flotilla just keeps passing.
Okay.
Crewman just kind of moves the spotlight back, looks over at you, who, as you were kind of staring at him, he goes, just letting him know that we're a merchant ship.
Oh, cool. She's just gonna
I mean,
stare at the ship
helps me
until
that-
it goes away.
Means that they won't come near us, at least, for the most part.
Oh, okay, cool.
The rest of your watch passes without any other kind of event, though. You go back down below deck
Yeah.
and wake up Finn.
What's up?
Your turn.
Cool. Did you see anything?
We passed a ship, but they could communicate or whatever, so it was fine.
Cool. Alright. See you in a little bit.
Cool.
I'll head up.
All right, you head up, kind of keeping an eye out, watching where the spotlights are going and everything, just keeping an eye out for the ship. Doesn't seem like there's anything out here. You do see off in the far distance, heading to the southwest, what looks like a blurb of light, and you gather that was probably what Tyler had mentioned, another ship with spotlights out.
Cool. Yeah, I'll pretty much do the same thing. I'll just tap into Elvis and have him fly in big circles up ahead of where we're going.
Yeah, you
Just
keep an
wait
eye
till
out.
you see something.
Occasionally see a little bit of sea life popping out in the water. You now know what to look for as far as like the Salguin, and you don't see anything that raises any kind of alarm. But eventually, dawn comes. Seems like the night has gone by uneventfully.
Sweet. I'll get my motherfucking oatmeal.
Down, and the rest of your group has woken up, and they're now treating themselves to a little bit of oatmeal as well as some bacon as well. Served on there as the cook just goes, well, we're gonna make port sometime today, so I figured we might as well go through some of our fresh stores, eh?
Hell yeah.
Rest button on the excuse me. Is there no rest button on the roll 20 sheet?
There is not, no. Everything's manual.
Well, that sucks.
A little bit.
I know the other one we used.
But to be fair,
does.
there's no rest button on a piece of paper either, so...
True. But roll 20 makes things easier. Or supposed to
That's true.
make things
So-
easier. But then again, dice actually roll random roll 20.
Yeah.
I'm not salty at all. No, not a bit.
Oh, no. That salt's just from the sea, it's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I wonder if like virtual dice are like real dice. Like they can hear you talk shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, I'm sorry. You're complaining about the number of roll 20s I don't give you? How about I don't give you more of them?
yeah.
I'm just gonna land natural one a couple times. See how you feel about it.
It'd be pretty standard for what you're already giving me.
How do you think I felt? I was deliberately trying to kill Mio. And I couldn't. Not for lack of trying.
I don't know. The
Kidding.
the
I'm
roll
kidding.
20
I was
luck-
not actually trying to kill him. I was trying to put the fear of the gods into him.
Roll 20 was giving you pretty good luck in that fight we just had. I saw
Okay,
you
yeah,
roll
in
a
that
couple
one.
crits.
To be fair, that fight would have been 1,000 times easier when there's,
When we had a tank.
yeah, when you had a giant, like, meat shield.
Yeah. Instead
Well,
of-
unfortunately, meat shields downstairs throwing up.
Yep.
And it also would have helped me if I would have remembered I had face step. Damn it.
Yeah, that too.
It would have.
Yep.
Hush. I'm new at this character. Leave me alone. It's been
I,
what, 4
I
sessions?
forget. I forget that I have that in Matt's game too, so it throws me off. Like, when I try to stealthily shimmy along a bridge, get caught, and then realize, oh wait, I could have just teleported across the entire span of this river, around and getting us caught. So, but morning fills out. You finish your breakfast, heading up on deck to just kind of keep an eye out on things. The captain eventually just calls out, looks like we'll be making port here in a couple of hours. We made pretty good time despite the attack.
That's good.
Mhm.
Just thought I would let you know. The, captaining.
Sweet.
A couple of hours, as you start heading a little bit more north, kind of a light fog sets in a little bit, and eventually it gets thick enough to where the spotlights are put out once more. Just not quite to, like it's still pretty light out. It's daytime and everything, but just enough that someone might be able to see something in the distance. Eventually, you start getting a little bit closer, or a little farther in the day, and you start seeing off up in the air about 300 feet, somewhere off in the distance, you see a flash of light. You count about 10-15 seconds later. You recognize this. This is a lighthouse. Well, one of the lighthouses indicating Corda.
That's neat.
But Matt's not here, and I really want everyone to be here for the introduction
I'm
to
here,
Corda.
I'm
So,
just taking a piss.
oh well, all right then. I was gonna say let's take
Thanks
a
for
quick break.
sharing.
Yeah.
I mean,
Let's go ahead and take a quick 5-minute bio break because I want to get a drink of water anyway.
All
I
right.
was
Alright.
trying.
Alright,
I was
sounds
trying
good.
not to share. Just for
Fair.
the record.
That's fair.
I guess I should have said like BRB AP.
I normally just do bio, but
Oh, well, see, there you go.
yeah. So I'm gonna grab. You know what? I don't have the phone anymore. I'm gonna go grab myself a beer.
Nice.
Okay, BRB.
Uh,
Back.
So I swear to God, I have an entire drawer dedicated to drinking like paraphernalia, like koozies, corkscrews, bottle openers, wine stoppers, stuff like that. And
that
every
does not
time
surprise me.
I have like 9 bottle openers, and every time I go in that fucking drawer to go get one, it's like Toy Story, and everything's fucking scattered and hiding. Like I honestly think one of them is just alive, like anthropomorphic, and threatening all the other ones. Like he's not allowed to find us. No. I have to dig in my drawer that much to go find a goddamn bottle opener.
Or just use creative ways to open up a bottle.
Yeah, I'm not ruining my furniture, Kindle. Not when I literally have multiple items that are capable, like, their whole purpose.
I mean, you could
Excuse
always
me,
use bottle
just to
on
do that.
bottle to open them up. I mean,
I'm lazy though. Like, if I
That
paid
is
to have,
true.
if I paid to have small little utensils that can do all of that for me a lot easier than that, why would I not just use those?
Because you keep losing them.
That's like going out and buying a hunting knife and then insisting that you can only hunt using a Bowie knife. Like, why would you do that?
I don't know. Why would you?
Exactly.
Because the bowie knife is funner.
I have a...
By the way, nice choice in the ambiance for the night.
It's about to change here in a sec.
Oh, that's fine. That guy's got a lot of nice stuff.
Yeah, I was going through that one, and I'm like, perfect.
And as long as you give him props in the YouTube video, or somewhere on the stream or something like that, if you're streaming, it's perfectly free to use. So that works out perfectly.
Are we still recording right now, or?
Oh yeah, if I stop recording, it would separate the video. So I just have it as we'll be right back, but they can't hear us. But I could
Oh,
mute it.
for all of your ambient noises that you need for any kind of D&D game or other RPGs, please visit youtube.com/ I don't know how to URLs in YouTube work, but Sword Coast Soundscapes.
Give me that. Give him a nice plug.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Well, I mean, I have it up on the.
Okay,
YouTube
as far as
page,
like
too.
ad-libbing shit, that wasn't awful. Like
It
No,
wasn't
no.
terrible.
I've heard worse.
I've
on
heard
SNL.
worse. I've heard worse.
It's almost like, guys, D&D Beyond.
It's exactly close. It's not quite on level with Sam, but close.
Yeah, Taylor is what we're talking about.
So D&D Beyond, you guys.
Guys, D&D Beyond.
Every time Matt goes for a map. Or a whisper.
Or a whisper. Yep. Or just anything involving not Sam.
Greatest show ever.
I still need to finish last week's because I fell asleep halfway through.
I haven't watched Thursdays. I got like an hour and a half into Thursdays, and then I didn't watch it at work because I was actually good and did stuff at work instead of listening to that in the background.
Wow, what a good worker.
I put it on the background while I do stuff, so I actually do stuff while it's on. Just
I did have to take a final at 8 a.m. on Friday, so I kind of went to sleep instead.
Well, the episode did run a little late, so I
was gonna say, it was.
Pretty good episode. I loved the guest, and things get a little intense, and that's all I can say without spoiling it.
I heard shit gets.
I
Yeah,
also
I
heard
might
that
have.
shit gets real.
It got real fucking hairy for one character.
It got real.
Yeah, no, I'm
not
aware. Unfortunately, I'm
bad.
aware of that because someone was a dickhead and didn't post the correct no spoilers tag on a r/critical role post.
Oh, sweet. Good thing I didn't.
Well,
know
they
about it.
put no spoilers, which they always put on like everything involving even old campaign 1 stuff. He didn't label that it was for this past week's episode. So I opened it up thinking, like, I think the title was supposed to be an analysis between Caleb and Vax and their relation with Sam's characters. The Vax and Scanlan relationship versus Not and Caleb. And then it, at the very bottom, threw in some stuff about last week's episode. It's like, God damn it. Like, I didn't watch it yet. Now I know things. So, oh well. Still should
I
be
mean,
pretty good,
I know what happens because someone posted a spoiler on Twitter because
Yeah.
I was a stupid idiot and went on Twitter after episode of.
but that one's on you. Like, the general rule is,
It's totally on me.
like, Matt knows this. When Game of Thrones is in season, I don't touch anything involving social media until I've watched, because I hate risking shit.
I just like glanced at Twitter and it's like surprise. I'm like, no.
Yeah, thankfully I don't follow enough Critical Role
Why'd
stuff
you do
on.
that to me?
I don't use my Twitter, so I don't follow any Critical Role stuff on there.
Ah.
It's Flask, because I do like to see what gets posted on there about like what his Flask was if I can't figure it out myself.
I'm gonna follow that on Twitter. I have followed too many people on Twitter.
Is everybody back yet?
I mean, obviously I'm back, but
Yeah, just
I'm not back. I'm
or
just
am I?
just making sure everybody seeing if they're here yet.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. One is back then. All right, so right back up then. You guys are on the deck of the ship. The fog is out. It's pretty thick. You're just now seeing this large flashing lighthouse. It looks pretty far away. Kendall, you know for a fact, though, that it's actually not nearly as close as it looks. It's a kind of an illusion, the lighthouse itself. And you also know, you're able to kind of see, because you've done a little bit of traveling, you're aware of some of the enchantments surrounding the city of Corda, that closer and closer, and the noises of the docks start getting louder and louder. It starts generally thinning out. I don't think it's playing the right one yet. No. The sounds start getting a little bit louder. You start hearing the sounds of civilization. And eventually, seems like they're kind of watching you expectantly, as it's pretty evident the fog is just it just disappears. You pass through almost like a wall of just clear air, and the city is sprawled out before you.
Ooh.
Your map.
That's big.
Oh, yeah.
As the fog clears, you see that this city, very much like you were kind of told, is massive. It's situated at the base of a slow spiral cliff that kind of hangs over this kind of cove and dock area of the lower part of the city. And you see there's clusters of buildings all along this hill leading up to the top of the cliff. There's also, jutting out just enough below the cliff, is kind of a small peninsula, a cove in the center of the city, which actually gives it's part of the nickname of the city. Corda is known as the Coved City because of this little central section of water that Kendall is aware of the name of, but I'll have him share that later if he wants to. It's kind of a recreational beach area. Parts of the city, as you begin to get a little closer, you can see these massive brick and mortar buildings, massive smokestacks, the occasional flash of fire and heat coming off of these appear to be some kind of factories or foundries, just churning away large columns of smoke rising up into the air, eventually dissipating. Going along this southern route, heading closer, you start seeing more and more docks jutting out, different sized ships all throughout them. You see everything from giant four-masted transport ships and imperial three-masted warships to single-masted little cog ships and merchant-class vessels. Around, there doesn't seem to be any kind of specific ordering as far as the organization of where these ships are docked at. Farther along, as the ship continues to approach the city, different piers are jutting out that aren't actually dock related. You can actually see a couple different little attractions and shops. At one point, it looks like there's even what looks to be some kind of like petting zoo. One pier appears to be populated by nothing but fishermen, just standing on the edge of this dock, fishing off into the sea. Start kind of getting a better glance at the city as you get closer, just the size and scale of this entire place. There's different kinds of architecture scattered throughout it, even architecture that people who aren't from Corda, like the twins, and recognize even as from being from their own home cities. Different kinds of buildings, material being used. A couple of the more nicer buildings seem to be made out of some kind of speckled granite. Kind of gives off a weird sheen to it as the light hits it from certain angles. Looking up at the top of the cliff rise, all you're able to kind of see from this angle as you're getting closer to the docks is this massive 7-story building made of some kind of ornate rock or wood. It's a little hard to tell from this angle and this distance. But you do see this just massive deck patio that kind of overhangs over the cliff a little bit, wall itself. Farther along the cliff edge, at the very tip of this little rise, is what you start thinking in your heads, how is it so bright earlier when it's that far away? There is a large, about 200-foot tall lighthouse up at the tip of this cliff. You see as the light just continues to pass in a slow circle, illuminating everything out in the water. Even for how far away it is from you guys, and bright. Finn, you especially, you kind of get the sense this is probably enchanted to be that way. Of that size, even of that size, at that distance, would be really ineffectual for any ships trying to come into dock at night or in a storm. So there's probably something arcane that's able to project that light out and make sure that the city of Corda is lit and illuminated for all to see. You eventually start making your way up into one of the northern areas of the docks. For the record, you guys can't see my writing on here, can you?
Nope.
The
All
red
I see is
lines.
the map.
Can you see the red lines?
Nope.
Red, no.
So, you guys eventually come to dock at a spot right here, if anyone saw that. Tied off and everything. No one seems to be leaving the ship yet. In fact, the captain just kind of looks at you guys and goes, if I could have you stay here for just a moment, the Harbor Authority will come and we will have to do a little bit of business before anyone can disembark. Apologize for the inconvenience, but this is the way of the merchant class.
No problem.
I'll send Elvis back to his little pocket dimension.
So, you guys wait. The crew seems to just be trying to get everything kind of in order, shipshape, ready to, disembark so that they themselves can get a little bit of short time. About 5 minutes passes, and eventually lone man comes up the gangplank and kind of ahoys the captain, asking for permission to board. Captain gives it. You watch. It's a very well-dressed man. Not overly well-dressed or anything, like nothing noble, but pretty well-dressed for what you would associate as a dock worker. Short brown hair, lightly bearded, a bit young side, probably late 20s, early 30s, somewhere in that range. Comes up. With the Corta Harbor Authority. I'm just here to take stock and ask business. This is the Mist, correct? Yes, this is the Mist. I'm a captain of Ankardin. I have been to Corta many times. I believe it should be in the records. We have the records of that. Just needed to check that. Do you have a manifest? Captain pulls out his paperwork as well, hands it over to this man. Kind of goes through it a little bit. Just makes a couple notes. Eventually walks up to you guys. I'm Skyle Martin. I'm with the Corta Harbor Authority. I'm just here to keep track of everyone coming in and out of the city via the docks, just for safety purposes as well as our own records, per Imperial mandate. If I could please have your names.
He just kind of side eyes Finn just to see what he does first.
What?
Well, I'm Garuk. There you
Any last
Oh.
name?
go. No. No last name.
Just kind of looks at you a little bit.
And also, Corey, before this takes place, I go downstairs and I'm taking off my cloak.
Okay. So yeah, you have your cloak. It's packed away in your belongings, but okay, it's not on.
Reasons.
So he makes a note of your name, looks up, and the rest of you?
Finn Stormraven.
Finn Stormraven. You two?
Tyler Redfire.
Tyler.
Redfire.
And Taylor Redfire. Related, I assume.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Makes a note. One wolf. And he kind of looks at the manifest a little bit. Captain, there appears to be... yes, he is below deck, currently suffering from the effects of sea travel. His name is... You said his name was Gunther something, wasn't it?
Yes.
Something like that.
Absolutely.
Gunther. Alright, he will not be permitted to leave the docks until he gives his full name with the Harbor Authority. That is fine. He will probably be recovering for a little bit, I assume. He is more than welcome to stay on the ship until he does so. As you wish. Couple notes. Alright, now that I have all of that, everything is well and good. You are free to enter the city. If you need anything relating to the Harbor Authority or anything on the docks, feel free to contact any of us or come find me and ask questions. We're more than happy to help. But, looks down the gangplank and leaves. But The area in the docks where you guys are, there's a couple of industrial warehouses kind of scattered around a little bit. But it's also a little weird. You guys, those of you, actually, Finn, you don't have the most amount of experience with port cities, but you kind of get the sense that most port cities have more of an industrial, like, docks district.
Yeah.
It's kind of it's a place of business. Merchants, plenty of that stuff like that. Industrial buildings and stuff like this around the docks. But there's also interspersed, like, family-friendly stuff, like shops, fishing areas. There's a couple different little restaurants. One place even looks like it's just a place full of slides. Different kinds of attractions, and kind of walking up and down the docks and just kind of exploring. It's a lot different of a crowd than you would expect for this kind of industrial area. But as you kind of look around as well, never mind, you guys can't see any of those buildings yet. So, but city is yours. What would you like to do?
I mean, it's kind of you two's party at this point, right?
It's what?
It's kind of you two's party at this point, right? Like, you guys are kind of... Like, you've got the plan.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess. Yeah.
Yeah, we totally have a plan.
I totally have a plan.
Well, lead on.
Okay.
Oh man, this is funny.
She's like,
Honestly, can't find my damn notes on this.
I have my notes, but I'm like,
For the record, you don't have to go do anything like that. Like at the moment, you could explore a city. Like,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking we were gonna do.
yeah,
but,
I kind of want to explore.
this is a role-playing game. If you don't want to go do the main quest, it's not that's not a fault.
I know. I'm just was still trying to find my damn notes, but apparently the piece of paper is missing. With all my notes from this campaign so far.
Who uses paper anymore?
I do.
Jeez.
Oh, hey,
I'm
you guys,
just kidding.
I gave you guys each like 8 gold off what I looted off of that dead fish.
Oh, okay.
I have what we're supposed to do. I just
Yeah. You guys would remember that you are supposed to find, in order to get a hold or set up a meeting with this Black Blade tiefling, you were supposed to find any of the town criers and pay them 5 gold and have them announce the impending marriage of Lord and Lady Nonagon.
Did they say they were just gonna announce that on their own, or we had to say it?
You have to tell them to announce that.
Okay.
Yeah, you're supposed to find one of the town criers, pay them exactly 5 gold, and ask them to announce the impending marriage of Lord and Lady Nonagon in 3 days.
Okay, yeah. Cool.
3 days later, you're supposed to show up behind the shop in the docks district known as Tarquin's Treasures, excuse me, at midnight, and either or one of his associates will be there to discuss whatever you're trying to set up.
Alright, cool. I'm gonna look for that shop first.
Tarquin's Treasures?
Before we leave, yeah.
Okay. Do you feel like, after she announces her intent to go find this place,
Like, it might
You sure?
be a good idea to ask somebody. This place is quite big.
I mean, we know it's in the docks, right?
Yeah, but I mean, do we want to go north? Do we want to go south?
north, south, and east, though? Which way is he?
Wander
I mean,
all day?
That's true. She'll go up to some guy about her eyelashes and ask where it is.
all right, you are you going up to like a random dockhand, or?
Someone looks like they know where they're where they are.
Okay, you go up to one of the guys who just kind of, he seems to, he's walking around pretty confidently. As you approach him, he's human, probably like somewhere around his 20s, young, like lower end of 20s. On his face, a little bit of blonde hair. He just looks. He goes, "Can I help you?"
And can you spell out that shop for me in the chat?
Hawkins Treasures.
All right, cool. Hi, I'm new in town, and I was just looking for Tarquin's treasures. I heard it was really cool.
You mean Hawkins Treasures?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's over east a little bit, a couple streets down. It's kind of hard to miss. There's a large sign on it. It says Hawkins Treasures. Place. It's kind of a salvage shop.
Oh, you know, just someone at a tavern to talk to.
All right. I mean, yeah, it's just down this road a little bit, and you'll see it. It's hard to miss.
Great, thank you.
Yep, no problem.
Come back. It's this way. And she'll just lead on.
All right. You start leading on, and Garuk, you realize as you start going on, she is in fact heading the right way. She got legit directions. Oh man.
She didn't even think to ask.
Nope. Nope. And you can't metagame and ask her now, because
Nope.
But you do eventually. Can you all see the 3 now?
Yes.
Okay.
What?
I'm fancy. I had stuff labeled this time.
Oh, the 3, yeah.
It's a little hard to see, but I mean...
There's no good colors that go with off gray.
Yeah.
Believe me, I tried all of them.
Okay, now I see it. My map was zoomed way too far out.
Yeah.
If you could give it like
Yeah,
a
no.
white with a black outline or something like that, but...
Hey, I might be using different map generators for cities later on. The one I have been using that's been kind of customizable like this, I can't change colors.
I can understand that.
Yeah, I found a couple others I think I was telling Matt about that I might be trying in the future, but
Yeah.
we'll see.
Well, you could always
Anyway,
put it in Photoshop
when I stop-
or a picture program and maybe tweak certain colors if that's an option.
I'll need maps when I stop stealing from modules.
Yep. I didn't metagame too
Still
much last
never-
night, did I? I feel like I wasn't metagaming that badly.
No.
There was stuff that I did know, but there was also stuff that I realized my cleric would legitimately do. So,
Yeah.
like, pick up corpses.
Oh yeah.
Gotta love
Nah, I
brain
thought
clear.
Knowledge cleric of a death god, there's a difference. I'm breaking the meta. I'm playing a non-death cleric as a death cleric.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
Super meta. You guys start heading the right way, heading down just past a couple of streets, eventually finding the building. Find my goddamn notes.
See, I'm not the only one that has a hard time finding notes.
No, it's just that I need to get better about splitting them up. I right now have just a note document called Major Cities and Communities of Meridia. So right now it's a 14-page document of just, all of the cities as bulletin points with under bulletin points. So better at separating them, but find the building. It's not exactly the nicest building, and you kind of get the sense, Tyler, that the guy who gave you the directions was right. This is more of a salvage shop. There's one side, like the outside of the building kind of has this lot, and it looks like there's just junk. Like people just found stuff at the bottom of the ocean and threw it in here. A couple of it's kind of labeled, and there's a couple signs that go that seem to have this weird little bit of writing on there. Well, what languages are you fluent in?
Who are you asking?
Anyone, really?
A lot.
I got a couple.
Sylvan,
No.
Draconic, and Common.
I speak English because this is America.
Yeah, this is what this is. A Meridia, yeah.
Common.
Okay,
Alright,
so
I speak.
Because
I
this is
speak-
Meridia. So we
I
speak in
speak
common.
Common, Abyssal, Druidic, Dwarvish, Elvish, Gnomish, and Sylvan.
Good God.
so you don't
Jesus.
understand it.
Okay.
Don't understand it. Garuk, what languages are you fluent in?
I have no idea.
It'd be on your character sheet. Left side, I think.
Yep. Bottom left.
No.
Or lower.
They're using. Okay, no, he's common and Elvish, so he doesn't know it either. In this kind of weird language, looks like a bunch of scribbles to you guys, but you don't really make sense of it. But it seems like it's labeled for someone.
Huh.
But the shop itself is just kind of a wooden exterior. A couple support poles on the outside of it, just kind of holding the front of the building up. It looks like made of kind of a shale type rock. Seems pretty sturdy though. The top of the door is just a plain wooden sign with purple paint written on there. It just says Tarkin's Treasures. You repainted several times.
Huh. Okay. Now I'm acquainted. Then I'm like, oh shit, Garrick, you're from here, aren't you?
Maybe?
Why didn't
But
you
that was
speak up?
established a long time ago?
I forgot. Why didn't you speak up?
Because it was
know-
kind of hilarious.
Because for our characters, it's only been a few days. For us, it's been months.
Yeah, because Groot usually said chat.
Like a week or two. So it's been like a week.
Yeah. Oh, do we want to go in or do we just want to? I don't care. Either way.
To you guys, what are you doing? You're standing outside the shop. You watch as a couple people. They just kind of walk by, like down the street. A few people, a little skeevier looking. Occasionally, just kind of go down this way as well in the alley, like the various alleyways and streets of this. Yeah.
I smell crime.
You
Smells
smell
like
crime?
home. Yeah, I mean, there's people doing shady shit all over the place. It's kind of an expression.
Never heard smell crime. Anyway, do we want to go in or do we just want to keep walking? Because I don't care. I'm good with
Why are we
this.
going to this
Shop,
place?
There's nothing to go in to see.
Because this is where we have to come in 3 days after we tell of town friar about.
Oh yeah. I don't know. You guys want to get this business, or you want to go check this town out? Groot, you're
Let's
from
check
here.
the
Is there
town
like
out.
cool shit to do?
Yeah, there's some stuff to do.
And in all honesty, it does take 3 days once we talk to the town crier, so we can get that started and come make sure we're back in 3 days.
You know, a good place to stay, Groot. That's not gonna rob us or give us lice.
Ugh.
Speaking as a DM, yes, he knows of several places.
Yeah, yes, I do.
Don't see what I'm looking at. I sent him literally like an essay.
Yes, you fucking ass.
And did you read it?
Yes, I actually read it.
I know
and
he read,
have
I know he
a
read parts
page
of it because he
notes.
was yelling at some of the words I used.
And
Yeah,
did
you
you
fuckhead.
memorize it?
It's all sitting in front of me. It's sitting in front of me.
Do you? All right. I was gonna say, do you want to read through it again, or do you want me to remind you of like better places to stay?
I mean, the best place to stay would be the cabin.
Okay.
The
So-
captain's cabin.
Sounds expensive.
Yeah,
Grook, in your
I mean-
experience, it's not. I mean, it's not. It is definitely not the most expensive place in town, but it's nicer. You've
No
been there
lice?
once. You've been there once or twice, and it's pretty well priced for the quality you're getting.
I mean,
You would also know that.
there's no ice.
sweet.
It's one of the lesser areas where you're going to get robbed or, beat the shit out of. Not.
On the upside, sometimes attempted robberies are a good way to pick up a little fucking pocket change.
True.
Oh, you're robbing me.
Yeah.
Oh, how cute. This is gonna end well for you, buddy.
So if that's where y'all want to go, we need to head to the market district.
You're a fucking town, dude.
Lead on.
Lead on.
All right. So
Well-
you're leading Garuk.
Yeah, I'll lead.
So, for the purposes of this, you are aware of certain areas. You start heading down this large street, eventually passing into what is commonly known as the Market District. You start seeing a few more shops. There were shops and stuff in the Docks District, and Grook, you know about the Docks District and what's kind of being done out there, so you're aware of why there are shops out in a Docks District. But you start getting to more, the more concentrated shopping areas. You pass different food stalls. The rest of you guys, you all came from pretty big cities, so you're pretty used to something like this, a market area. There's different kinds of fish and spices and just different smells and sights and sounds all throughout this. So you start passing through the main thoroughfare of this. Different stalls, different places being called out, selling their wares, trying to get passerby like you interested. A few people trying to sell different kinds of rugs and carpets. Seems like this is a pretty good area for just about anything you want to buy, you can find. As you start making your way into the heart of the Market District, over on your right-hand side, you eventually pass a garish-colored building you have ever seen. The entire facade of this building is actually bright pink with a bit of blue, like sky blue and lavender accents all around it, with a very large, embellished golden filigree on the sign that says Julius Caesar.
Oh my god.
For purposes of this, you guys can now see the number 10.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Just making sure, because I have a lot of stuff. But you continue to pass by this, unless any of you feel like stopping and checking what this place is. Okay. You continue down the main street, Garuk leading you guys on. You eventually pass kind of this tucked away little or this little shop. Little, like, gems built into the door frame itself. The sign out front, it looks like it's kind of been dinged up a little bit, but you're able to clearly read in very fine script, Mistial's Mysteries of Magic.
Ha! That dude owes us. Right? Mistial, that was the dude that we let
You'd
go,
also
right?
know, Finn, that that dude was traveling by foot to Corda. Would have beaten him here.
Oh, that little son of a bitch.
Okay, hold on. Is that? I can't tell if it's a 9 or a 8.
That's like an 8.
That's an 8.
Okay, that's an 8. No, I needed the one right here. Okay, that's a 9. You do also, as you continue on, you start hearing the sounds before you end up seeing it, and then eventually you start smelling kind of the smell of fire and smelted metal. So you know that there's a blacksmith shop up here. Very large little open foundry area. You're able to see very clearly out in this little courtyard a dwarf pounding away on an anvil. Seems to be trying to forge something. You do pass by a sign over the door leading into the main shop proper area. The sign itself is shaped like a barrel, almost like a barrel of water that would be used for quenching blades. A stylized on the sign itself, what appears to be some kind of cutlass or saber sticking out of there. Underneath it is written "The Quenched Cutlass." Should be able to see that now. Eventually, you start getting a little bit closer. You start hearing the sounds of just gentle lapping water. Actually, coming to a bit of a viewing area where you're able to see just kind of a fence. About 15 feet below, you're able to see just this wide expanse of what looks like a beach. Just pearlescent white and tan sand all around this large circular cove in the center of the city. Reason for its nickname, the Coved City. Garuk, you know what this place is named, but as you're able to see, you see off in one of the far distance what looks almost like a platform that is being raised from this beach area all the way to the very top of the cliff area. Several different groups of people in different states of dress. Some of them a little finer. It looks like they're just out there to enjoy the sun and air. A few kind of playing in the water and everything. Most of them appear to be a little more well-to-do. This is probably a little more of a richer attraction. But you eventually hook a left farther into the main courtyard of the Market District, eventually finding a kind of a nautical-themed bar. Of all things, in a port city, a nautical-themed bar. The building itself is kind of stylized around the after castle of the back of a ship. Different kinds of port windows that you'd see in a captain's cabin, and in fact, this is the building known as the captain's cabin. You can hear the gentle sounds of music coming from the inside. There's a couple different tables out in the front that there are a few people. It's about noon, a little afternoon, but there's already a couple people just sitting and enjoying some food and a few drinks and everything. You do get looking around the crowd outside and through the windows inside. Garuk was telling the truth. This is in fact a nicer place, not like fancy or anything like that, but as far as like a rough and tumble bar, this isn't. This is a little more upscale. This is probably on par with in a normal city.
On par with what? I'm sorry, the audio cut out.
On par with the Cat's Paw Pub from Marshtown. About maybe a little better quality than that, since you're obviously in a bigger city and you can afford that quality. But it is a nicer place as opposed to like the Drunken Grumpkin. This is a nicer bar. We'll see. There are 3 stories to this building. A couple of them on the upper areas look to be open windows into rooms. But she's gotten you here.
All right.
Well, I guess we'll go.
Set up.
Okay. Real quick, as you guys are walking up to the building, though, Kendall, check your messages, and high enough, you'd see, as you start walking towards the building, someone in kind of a black cloak, kind of nondescript, normal, like human face, anything like that, just appears to be human male, kind of bumps into Garuk a little bit and just goes, "Oh, sorry about that," and walks away.
You cut out there, so he bumped into Garuk.
Just kind of bumped into Garuk, apologized, and walked away.
And who'd you say was able to see it?
Finn.
I assumed that was me.
Because Finn's got crazy high passive, so.
Ah.
A bit higher than yours, I checked.
I guess your old contacts bubbling back up, Garuk?
Maybe.
Anything we need to be worried about?
Nope. Nothing.
So, you guys are heading into the building then?
Yep.
Let me pull up. As you guys walk into the captain's cabin, it's a pretty nice ambiance inside of here. The whole building is made out of wood, darkened wood that would be similar to the construction of a ship. And it almost reminds you of the interior of the Mist that you just spent the last couple days on, but a lot nicer. There's ornamentation on the walls. The wood is finely polished, and in fact, in some places, they're kept in very, very good condition. Even the general furniture, the chairs and the tables, all are in really good condition. There's various servant wenches in outfits than you'd expect from a kind of bar of this caliber, but maybe that's just how things are in Corda. You do see behind the main bar is a blue-skinned tiefling, female, looks like, short curly horns, wearing a variation of the gown, or the outfit that these bar wenches all seem to be wearing, except a little more conservative. It's a very pretty skirt, nice little dress, like flaring out, kind of a short cape over her shoulders as she's doling out liquor and handing things out, flashing her tiefling smile every once in a while. You look around, there's plenty of tables open. It's kind of a late lunch crowd at this point, but there's some people eating, a few people drinking. Everyone seems to be enjoying a good time. You still hear the music, and you're not sure where it's coming from. It's just kind of a light flute and drum accompaniment out in the back somewhere. What are you guys doing?
Tyler's gonna go find a table for now.
Okay.
Go sit down.
Okay. Garuk, Taylor, what are you guys doing?
Yeah, I'll join. I'll leave my wolf outside.
A few people kind of look at Kisa awkwardly, but
I'll just have her like lay down outside, about 10,
Okay.
15 foot from the door.
and Garuk, you said you were sitting down as well.
Yeah.
You guys sit down at a table, just kind of waiting on a bar wench. One does come by after a minute, eventually coming up and just kind of curtsying a little bit with her skirt and goes, "Welcome to the Captain's Cabin. We are the premier rum and ale bar here in the Market District. My name is Taylor. What can I do to help you?"
God damn it.
Damn it!
Damn it!
I'm sorry, did I say something wrong?
No,
No.
that's my name.
Well, hi, Taylor. I'm Taylor.
Hi, Taylor. I'm Taylor.
He shakes your hand. For the record, she's a fairly attractive human female. Blonde hair kind of tied up into a messy bun behind her. But
And this is my sister, Tyler.
Hi, Taylor.
hi, Tyler. I'm Taylor.
Hi.
Welcome to the Captain's Cabin. This is your first time?
It is.
Oh, well, we always love having new customers. First time? Is it your first time in Corda as well, or have you been here a while?
First time for me.
Oh, well, welcome to our fine city. Corda is a wonderful place. We always like to have fun here. Oh, what can I get you guys? Some food?
You said rum?
Yeah.
Yes, we do have rum. Being so close to the sea, we have a couple people, friends of our dear owner over there, Jessie. She has a few people that make specialty rums, and we, in fact, actually have a specialty drink as well that uses one of these rums. It's, in fact, created specifically around this rum.
Give me one of those.
All right, that is one hot half work. And the rest of you?
Hey, I'll have one too.
All right, 2 hot half orcs.
I'll take the ale half of the rum and ale capital.
I can get you one of those. And for you?
I'll have 1 ale and 1 rum.
All right, just rum by itself, or
Yeah, just by itself.
that will be 5 silver pieces.
Okay.
Like for everybody?
For everybody, yes. Unless everyone's paying separately, or...
No, I'll
I
toss
got it. I got it.
You got it this time? All right.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you.
Go ahead and mark off. Oh,
Who
yes.
did we talk to about getting a room? Or rooms?
I can talk with Jesse about it, or if you're not wanting to get it right now, you want to get it later. Jesse over there, Jesse Sapphire, she would be the person to talk about checking the rooms. Just at any point, go up and talk to her, or I can check for you if you want.
You guys got some open spots?
I'd have to check with her, but we
yeah,
should.
check with her.
It's
when
early
you
in the day.
guys-
Yeah, sure can. I can do that. All right. If there's anything else, I'll go off and get your drinks then.
Thank you.
Hey, Finn's gonna nurse his ale because the boys are brushing their teeth, so I'm gonna go put them to bed real quick. I'll be right back.
All right. She does eventually come back with the drinks. It takes a little bit. You kind of watch, for things around you. You two that ordered the hot half orcs, you watch as Jessie actually has to go, and it looks like she's brewing some kind of tea. And she has 2 different little, these kind of greenish glasses. For reference, they look a lot like the copper mugs that one would drink a Moscow Mule out of, but they're green. She mixes a couple different things from different bottles, appears to throw in what looks like a leaf or something, as well as some kind of little stick that looks almost like a straw. Eventually going and taking a tea kettle and actually pouring tea straight into the mugs as well. Getting the rest of the drinks as well, and talking with Taylor a little bit before sending her off. She does bring the drinks back. Ale to Finn, starts handing out the rest of the drinks. All right. So right here we have a nice dark nutmeg ale and a nice glass of Corton salt rum for you. She hands that to you, Karuk. We have 2 hot half-orcs. She sets these mugs in front of you. The first scent you get is there's a splash. Like a salted sea scent, similar from the scent of the ocean. but it smells a lot better than the ocean.
Okay.
But as you start looking, the little stick that looks like a straw that she stuck into it is actually a stick of cinnamon. It's a cinnamon stick, just completely whole. And as you start trying to move it around, it starts slowly dissolving into it. As the liquid is very hot and it's been dissolving it, you also see what looks like almost a piece of seaweed, dried, but reconstituting a little bit in the mug as it's been introduced to whatever this hot beverage is. Guys, try it.
I'll
Yeah.
take a small sip.
I'll take a bigger sip,
Okay.
not a small sip.
Well, I'm just making sure.
Well, actually, hold on. Let me describe what's in it, and you can determine whether or not you think that's good. Let me put it that way.
Okay.
Shit, my computer would unlock. Okay. It is heated green tea with a splash of Corton salt rum and a splash of cinnamon with the cinnamon stick, served in the green sailor's mug. And you actually, as you take a sip of it, you also taste a little bit of the salt that is actually lined on the rim of the glass, with the shoot of dried seaweed and bits of lime inside of it. There is a salty taste to it, no matter what. There's a bit of the not quite burn from the rum. It's actually really good quality rum, and you know this as well, Garuk, from tasting your Corton salt rum. It's
Yeah,
like they weren't kidding that the rum was good. But as far as the drink, I'll let you determine whether that's good.
she'll take a decent gulp of it.
All right. How's that taste? You need something else, or
I mean, bread, maybe.
we can do bread? I talked with Jesse. We do still have rooms available. I just need to know how many and for how. If you have an idea how long, or we can do it by per night basis as well.
I mean, at least 3 or 4 days, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know how many rooms, or what's?
At the moment, I think there's what we want to double up, or so we have a total of 5 people once our other gets over the seasickness.
Sure, we can double
Yeah.
up.
We can double up.
Yeah, so 2 to a room for now. So probably just
Yeah.
2 rooms for now until our friend gets off the ship.
2 rooms, we can do that. The rooms here are 2 silver a night. So you said you're staying 4 days?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. Doing the math, that'll be 16 silver.
Alright, I got it.
Okay. You go ahead and mark off 16 silver. Go ahead and get your keys and the bread for you, and I'll get you anything else you need when I come back. She walks off. Seems to go. She talks with Jesse a little bit more. Gets eventually handed 2 keys. You're able to see as well. She stops in the back area, comes out with a hot loaf of bread. It looks like, and you can start smelling it. It smells really good. Like, oh man. Over and sets it down along with the 2 keys. These are for rooms 4 and 5 on the 2nd level. They are eastern facing, so you'll actually be able to see right out into Pleasure Cove. Is there anything else I can get you, or are you good for now? Give you a little bit of time?
I'm good. Thanks.
Alright. Let me or Jesse know if you need anything.
Okay.
Alright. She walks off and goes to check on a couple other tables.
Well, they seem nice.
Well, of course they're nice. They want to make a good tip.
Yep.
I mean, that's why I'd be nice.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, we haven't gotten looked at weird, so.
Yet.
I mean, yeah.
You guys also notice that Garuk has her cloak. Garuk, is your hood still up, or would that be
No.
with part of your? Okay, so
Yeah, that's part of the.
Garuk's been walking around this entire time with no hood or cloak or anything, and she doesn't seem to be getting any weird looks either, despite her clear elven heritage.
So, what's up with this place? I look at her.
Everybody comes here. It's an eclectic area.
You'd also know, Garuk, based on who's running the city right now, the city's a little more tolerant of minority species.
Yeah.
Huh.
It kind of has to be when you're being run by a tiefling in a human-dominated empire.
Exactly.
And you hate it here?
Oh. Hmm. Hmm.
I mean,
Yes.
it just seems nice. So far.
On the surface, it looks nice.
Well, yeah.
Eventually, as you guys are sitting there just kind of enjoying your drinks, mulling over this new environment that you're in, the both of you um, you start picking up this odd scent in the air. It's a little hard to place. You've never smelled anything quite like it. Garuk, you do recognize what that smell is, though, and you're able to immediately pinpoint where it's coming from. Eventually, the twins kind of notice where you're looking over, and it looks like there's two guys a little closer to the door that appear to have these small pipes just sticking out of their mouths, smoking something in them. It's a little bit of... It looks like normal smoke, a little red tintish to it, though. On their table, a few people are just kind of looking over them like, oh god. Eventually you hear hollering from the bar as Jesse kind of stands up a little bit and starts yelling over at them, "Hey! I told you no smoking red root in the captain's cabin!" You just kind of look at her like, okay, and they start heading out the door. Sorry, everyone, as Jesse Sapphire calls down to the bar. Sorry, everyone, for that. Let the air clear a little bit. It'll be better here in the moment.
Okay. I'm gonna get my hands on some of that. I mean, what?
I'm just saying, you know a guy.
Yeah, I know a guy.
He's called the government. You can buy it legally.
Yeah.
Yeah, Red Root's very legal, where it's kind of illegal everywhere else in the country. Red Root's very much legal here, so you just have to find a shop for it.
Mm-hmm.
Next on the agenda. I mean, maybe after doing the thing we came here to do, but
Well, if you want to get some, go get some. I'm not gonna stop you.
we couldn't
only judge you.
tried. Yeah, after my drink, maybe. Not in a hurry.
Yeah, it's no rush on anything. What time of day is it again?
Point, it's kind of early afternoon, probably like 3 or 4.
Okay.
Spent a little bit of time walking around the city, just kind of taking in the sights and the sounds and everything, and at the docks, like, close to 1, so kind of chilling.
Okay, yeah. Just chilling. Anything fun to do around
You
here,
could-
Guru?
Fun-wise,
Some fun stuff to do.
yeah,
And I'll fill it.
yeah.
There's also a lot of stuff you wouldn't know because you didn't go do some of it, but I can fill it in if you investigate. So,
I will.
well, first you use what you know first. You have some stuff that you know about. If you're looking for where to be pointed, like the shellac shillelagh. Would be one.
Yes. One place would be the Shellac Shillelagh, which is a more rougher elemental bar and a fight club. God, I wish Mia was still here. But
Okay.
This is the second fight club I put in front of you guys.
Subtle hint.
One. It's not so much like I'm trying to get you guys to do it. It's just in case anyone wanted to.
Can understand that.
This is like I'm treating this like The Witcher 3. Like you don't have to go do those missions where you just get into fights with people for competition, but you could.
Yeah, and that's over at the docks. I mean, if y'all want to, so we haven't probably had a shower or bath in a while. In the market, there's the Squeaky Sponge, which is a co-ed bathhouse,
I mean,
I should say.
it sounds comfortable. Not really, but I mean,
Probably would need to get clean.
yeah, I could use a bath.
I think we could all use a bath after time on sea.
Oh yeah,
I can just
Yeah.
feel
on
the
sea, as sea.
You'd also be a little bit aware of how to get into the Pleasure Cove, Garuk.
Yes, yes.
Oh.
Yes, the Pleasure Cove. That's
Red
another
light
fun.
district.
Um,
No.
no.
For once, I gave it a bad name and I made it a wholly wholesome place.
Yes, the Pleasure Cove. Access can only be purchased at a municipal building, and you have to have a writ of approval by a family. Get into that.
Approval to do it. I think that's
So, okay, from what you guys are putting together here, and I'll fill in the blanks that Kendall didn't. The Pleasure Cove is that beach in the center of the city. There's a large kind of just cove of water filled in with a large expanse of beach that essentially the nobles and anyone that can afford to gets to use as just a public beach, but a private beach for beach-going activities like relaxing and, playing with sand and swimming and things like that.
Skinny dipping.
I mean, it is the Pleasure Cove.
It. There's guards, so if you want them to look at you weird, maybe.
I mean, you never know.
Yeah. And if you guys went to go do any more digging, I could give you more information, but
Yeah.
I mean, the beach does seem kind of fun
you guys get access.
if we get access. The bathhouse seems nice. So I'll go for whatever I can do. Our little quest whenever.
Yeah, there's no rush in anything.
Yeah.
Also, wouldn't be a bad idea to find a way to possibly make some money, if it's possible, while we're waiting.
True. Money is good.
Money's always good.
Especially if I'm gonna buy a bunch of red root.
I mean,
Oh.
hey,
Gotta have your priorities, right?
speaking as someone with a drinking habit, she has her priorities straight. Garuk, for the record, you would know, having tried to avoid stuff like this, you're aware that the city government does occasionally put out bounties and different notices for work if anyone is wanting to do tasks that the government just really doesn't want to.
Okay.
Can probably be found in the municipal district.
So, after we finish our drinks, y'all want to go to the municipal district for some work?
Sure.
I actually wouldn't mind cleaning up first. Make ourselves
That's
presentable.
That's true.
Yeah.
Need a bunch of people coated in dirt and sea salt. Or, mer blood.
You guys
True.
gave yourselves like a seaman's bath,
Please, for the love of God, rephrase that.
Nope, I'm not. Give me a stand. One stand.
Okay.
On that, so
For the record, remember that at 2 hours and 47 minutes in.
I said a seaman's bath.
Yeah, the S at the end makes all the difference.
Yeah, it makes a massive difference, and I said it both times.
Does that mean it could make
You
a
guys gave
load of
yourselves like
difference?
really. You guys really gave. Well, I mean, it was better than horse bath, but
Or a bit. You could have said bitch bath.
no, horse bath is the term for it. No, you guys hauled up some seawater from the ship, or while you guys were on the ship, and kind of like made sure you didn't smell like shit in Marshtown. So you just smell like sailors who haven't had proper baths in a while.
Yeah, proper
Yeah,
baths are
definitely
needed
get a
before we
bath.
go anywhere.
So basically, just sailors, but.
Yeah, definitely would like to wash up.
That's the plan.
Seems like it.
Seems like it.
Just gotta wait for Finn to chime in here.
Yeah, in case he has any other suggestions.
In the meantime, you guys do eventually go up and check your rooms. The rooms are actually kind of nice. Garuk was right. They are lice-free and fairly good quality for what you paid for them. Kind of vaguely nautical themed.
Cool.
Yeah, you're sensing a pattern.
Alright.
Is there anything else anyone wants to do in the bar?
No.
Not really.
Well, now we play the waiting game.
Insert Jeopardy theme here. No,
Da,
don't.
da, da, da. I didn't play actual music. I said it via
I know.
vocal, so I can get away with that.
Oh yeah, it's pretty.
He's been around long enough that it's public domain by now.
Yeah, probably is.
If game show companies want to sue me, bring it.
Bring it on, Jeopardy.
They'll get what, the whole $8?
Yeah, they'll get the whole $8 I have to my name.
Yeah, that's like 7.5 more than I got.
I have negative dollars.
That's
Okay,
not
well
good.
if we're gonna bring student loans into this now, like, wait a minute, because I've got way less than $8 to my name then.
Same here. Bringing student loans and loans that we owe and all that.
$2.
Yeah, if we're talking all the bills that I owe and medical and yeah, I'm gonna get 20K down.
20K?
Probably with
wish.
the medical.
Right?
I wish.
That and I haven't had a job for almost 2 years.
I wish I was only 20K.
That fucking cocksucker. You know what Chase is doing right now?
Probably playing a video
What?
game.
Oh, he's fucking drinking with Courtney and Keith.
Uh-oh. Give him hell, Corey.
So you
I'm
want
gonna
to kill
give
his character?
Oh yeah, you know what? Gunther just fucking died.
Can I just run up and kill him?
He just got so sick from the boat that he's just fucking dead.
No, just give him a fucking disease. Give him like an STD. He got it from sleeping
that
with all
whore
the
that he
semen.
got.
Yep. Let's see, where's the group? There's the Chuckle
From
Fox.
the lady of the night he was talking to.
Yeah, just talking to her.
And Jared is watching Star Wars at work.
So how's everybody doing?
Hey, I'm back.
Oh,
Yeah, there we go.
Hey!
I'm sorry, dude. I'm the worst.
that's
I should have taken my phone with me. No, Rachel's
Next time,
got a
dude.
fucking pulled muscle in her neck, and she was about to fucking strangle my children.
That sounds about right.
So I was like, no, I'll go ahead and do your bedtime, Harrison. Also, you guys probably never seen my fucking youngest, but he's the fucking cutest thing on the planet, so he's hard to say no to.
Oh, those are fighting words, Corey.
Oh, of course, seen pictures of Harrison.
Have. No, I found out where Chase was, and it's not on a date or getting his asshole bleached. It's currently just drinking with his roommates.
Oh, well,
And
that's...
using the Doom
His
shot
roommate,
glasses,
his
I think,
roommate's
Sam.
soon. Excuse me, it's his roommate's soon-to-be ex-wife and one of their friends.
Yeah.
So, like, dick move. Move.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit.
Has he filed? No.
You know what that means? That means Gunther got the clap.
Just,
That's
after
what
I
we were
found
just
that out,
talking about.
after I saw that, I sent him a text saying, "Hey, by the way, since you're out just drinking right now instead of playing, Gunther got alcohol poisoning, is currently on his deathbed."
Hey, Sam.
The fighting words were, "Dick, you can't kill off another character while I'm not there." I'm like, not my fault.
Exactly.
Oh,
When
contrary.
you respond with, well, if you were here,
Yeah.
Do
So,
precisely whatever the fuck I want.
So,
You're the DM.
DM's rules.
I told you, my buddy fucking Deacon blew us off for game, and he was abducted by wood elves, and his scrotum was filled with sticks and rocks. Had no impact on his character, but he had to play his character for the rest of that dude's life, knowing his testicles had been replaced with sticks and rocks.
Ew.
Yeah.
That's
Can you imagine how
messed up,
uncomfortable that would be?
I mean, every time you move, rocks would fling and shit. Yeah.
Well, if they're like
Yeah,
smooth, then
No.
I'd be more concerned about the sticks than the rocks. Like, catch a bad shift, it's like, oh god, that hurt. Sorry.
I'm picking fights. Sorry, I need to stop. Anyway,
Anyway, back to the task at hand.
I'm being
already-
petty as fuck.
I can already hear Courtney.
I'm being petty. Anyway, so Finn, all you missed was the ale is really good, the rum is really good. The twins enjoyed their hot half orc. You guys paid, or they already paid silver to get 2 rooms for 4 days, and apparently the decision was made to double up in those rooms. Since the paladin is currently not here.
But he's out drinking.
And dead.
Yeah, he's off drinking after being seasick. Yeah, so you have rooms. Other than Garuk explaining a couple different areas of the city and places to do fun things and stuff. Which I'm trying to remember what exactly we shared.
Pleasure Cove
Yeah,
Nice.
I
Wow.
listened to the recording.
and
yeah, Pleasure Cove, it's the giant beach in the center of the city. You learned about the Shellac Shillelagh, it's a fight club bar.
yeah.
There is the... Oh, and everyone is now wanting to go to the Squeaky Sponge, which is a co-ed bathhouse.
Nice.
And that was where they were waiting off. They were deciding to do that. If you want to chime in there.
Oh, that could be, like, feel free to... Finn's in for co-ed bathhouse. Like, that's just SOP. If I'm ever away from the keyboard, it's like, ooh, should we go to this co-ed bathhouse? Would Finn want
Yes.
to do that? Yes.
But yeah, so all right, everyone's good with going to the Squeaky Sponge then.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you guys start heading off, and your food and drink has already been paid for. So as you guys are heading out, Jesse just kind of calls out, "Bye, have a good time."
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll
Yeah.
be back later.
As you guys heading back towards where you saw the Squeaky Sponge. Or did you guys see the Squeaky Sponge? Yeah, you guys saw the Squeaky. No, you did not. But you were aware of where.
What's number 10?
Number 10 was Julius Scissor. You didn't know what it was, though. You just know it was a really garish, like, pink-colored building.
I hope it's like a hair cutting place. I mean, I don't hope it's a hair cutting place, but
Garuk, you want to chime in there?
Well,
Haircut?
guess what? It's a styling salon, basically.
Specifically, it is a stylist and tailor shop.
Do you want your haircut?
I mean, It's
do
been
you
a
wanna-
little bit.
You want to change clothes?
I mean, don't you? Like, these clothes are all torn up. I had some nice shit. I'm in a new town. Like, I said, we go hit this bathhouse and go get some fucking new gear.
You got a point.
Bathhouse first, then.
Yes.
Okay. You start leading them to where you know the squeaky sponge is, and it's the market district. And actually, technically, it's in the residential district. You kind of start heading over there, and where is it is number 11 there. You eventually cross over. Excuse me. Leaving the market district, finding it, you do see a couple of columns of steam just rising from different points in the building, kind of in the corners. Looks like different pipes set out to just eject the steam out into the air. The building itself is kind of nondescript. There aren't any, there's no real ornamentation to the building. It's really just kind of bland, like stone and wood, with a sign on there. Actually, a carved piece of wood, almost like a tan yellow in color, with different holes drilled into it, and it says on there the squeaky sponge, with what looks like carved wooden bubbles on the top of it nailed into it.
All right. Just walk in.
All right. You guys walk in. Inside, you don't see much initially. The room's kind of dark. There's a couple lanterns just kind of lining the walls, giving kind of a darker ambiance. The first thing you do notice is that the room is kind of humid. There's a lot of moisture in the air, but then again, it's a bathhouse. It's kind of expected. Kind of a counter where you see a gnome woman. Damn it, I really wish I had written stuff down. A gnome female. She has some short brown hair, kind of messily tucked up underneath a purple beret. She kind of looks up. She's wearing kind of a blue vest. You also notice a blue feather sticking out of her beret, with what look almost like sailor tattoos up both of her arms.
I was just thinking, why do all gnomes wear berets?
So do you approach?
Yeah.
Hi there. Welcome to the Squeaky Sponge. My name's Aaron. How can I help you?
Hi, Aaron. We need 4 packs.
All right, 4 for just a couple hours soak. All right.
Yeah.
Goats. Where did I put that one? Because apparently I didn't put it with the rest. All right. That will be 2 silver apiece. Do you want a massage while you're in there?
Yes.
100%.
Yeah.
That'll be 4 silver per each of you for anyone who wants the massage and the soak.
4 silver it is.
Sounds good.
I'll
pay for
cover it.
buddy.
I got this one. Nah, it's
Sure.
my turn.
4 silver. It's 4. All right. So 4 silver each. So 16 silver total.
Yep.
Okay.
Done.
You pay for everyone. All right. Thank you for doing business. Let me go ahead and
Thanks, Finn.
she kind of one of the doors, and eventually it just kind of pops open and goes, "Dothak, get ready for some massages." Kind of hear like a grumbling in the back. The door itself leads into kind of as it was advertised, it is a co-ed bathhouse. The locker room itself is also co-ed. So, you see off on the far
As
end
all
of
your
this room-
bathhouses are.
Yeah. Ain't nobody got time for segregation. Are you kidding me? No. Here. You see off on the far end of the room is a kind of ornamented marble door that seems to be leading out into an area with a large pool in it. Eventually, a kind of large individual walks into the room, just kind of stands at the edge holding a couple towels, and sets them in front of you guys. You look at him, experience with Dragonborns now. You've never seen a silver Dragonborn, though. He just kind of walks up, sets the towels down. My name's Dothak. I'm just here to kind of help out.
God damn it.
I have tables in the back ready for whenever anyone wants their massage. Just let me know. Otherwise, enjoy the bathhouse.
Thank.
Took you long enough, by the way.
No, I
As
figured,
soon
but
as
you
you
were
said
cutting
it.
in and out.
Oh.
You were cutting in and out, so I couldn't like hear exactly, and I was like, "Is this what I think it is?"
Well, you didn't give me shit for Jesse Sapphire either, so.
I did
Oh,
it, and
we were thinking about
I
it.
did to Joe.
Anyway, so
Uh,
he kind of walks off back into the room with the pool, leaving you to your devices.
yeah. Taylor just fucking
I'm gonna hop in this bath.
yeah.
Alright.
Same.
Like, how many people are in this room? Is it just us?
In the locker room right now, it's just you guys. You haven't gone
Hmm.
into the main room with the pool or anything yet.
Yeah. Just,
But you eventually get undressed, get everything stowed away in lockers and wrapped up in towels. You walk into the main room. The building itself, it was kind of hard to tell like how big the building was just based on where it was located. It appears that there's a large, massive pool here in the center, kind of separated. There's actually an interior wall like in the pool itself, separating it into like almost like an ice cube tray. Well, obviously, it's not freezing water because it's all very warm, steaming water. As you can see, a couple of the little pools are occupied by different groups of people. There's a couple loners just kind of hanging off. There's also side rooms along this entire way that are separated. A few of them not by any kind of door, they're just open doorways. And a few towards the back that do have doorways. One of the doors is open in one of the back rooms, and you see that there is a massage table inside there. So you gather that those rooms are probably the ones with the massages. It looks like there's plenty of space. Maybe like 7 people in here, other than you guys.
Okay.
There's room for like 150 if they really wanted to bathe. Like this is, I'm not talking. Yeah, this is not a like small space. This is a pretty big area, like Olympic-sized pool almost.
okay, cool.
Olympic-sized, pool-sized hot tub.
That would be nice.
Yeah, that's why I made one.
Yeah,
Ah.
she's just gonna.
We'll
So-
pick a ice cube tray that's a acceptable distance away from anybody else that they can't overhear as easily.
Yep.
Easily done. You managed to find a spot. Most of them are kind of in the farther end and kind of in the middle area, just trying to get away from people. It looks like everyone kind of has the same idea as you guys, getting away from everyone. But you find a nice little secluded area, far enough away from the door and all the other side ones. But eventually, taking the towels off and getting into the water. The water is sublime. It is just the perfect temperature. Feels wonderful as you're getting in. Just soothes all of your aches and muscles from the past couple days of journeying and fighting, and some of you almost dying, and just everything. It looks like as you are kind of sitting there a little bit, every once in a while on these interior walls of this, there are little baskets of just floating soaps that go down for anyone to grab.
Oh, I grab.
Yeah.
Smells vaguely of lilac. I mean, yeah, you guys take your time to clean and bathe yourselves, kind of just sitting there soaking for a little bit. It's up to you guys how long you stay. Like,
How long do we have?
it was for a couple hours, and you also had the massage at any point. So,
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
after I get like all like soaped up, I'll go get the massage and then go back in the tub for a while.
Yeah, same.
I'm basically leaving until they kick
Yeah.
me out.
here. Yeah.
Same here.
Oh, is my time up? All right, I'll be right there.
you guys take your time relaxing and everything. Eventually, going and getting your massages. Massages are pretty good. Like the soak did a really good job of like just opening up your muscles and letting you relax and everything, and the massage just did its job to put you right into that perfect state of just like you haven't felt this good. All of you have not felt this good in years.
Best
Like
city ever.
Yeah, this did the trick.
So worth it.
Absolutely.
Hours have passed. Most of the people are out of the area, and a few new people have kind of moved in and everything, but Dothak's just kind of looking around, just taking stock of who's in here, and just kind of notices you guys still over there. And
holds up her wrist and points to it. Gives us the old wrap it up. One finger in the air.
Yeah, he kind
slowly.
of gives you the sense that, like, yeah, it's probably about time for you guys to get out.
Yeah, better clear out the space since you got so many people waiting.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever, man.
Eventually make your way back into the locker room, getting dressed, feeling pretty relaxed after that whole situation. Ready to walk out as Aaron sits there. Hope you guys had a good time. See you guys later.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks a bunch.
Yeah, I plan on it.
You guys eventually head out. By the time you guys walk outside, it's not quite dark, but it's getting darker. Point.
All right. Where to now?
Oh, hey, Groot, how strict is Corda on magic users? Like, do I need to be super careful, or just like, as long as I'm like staying in the middle of a crowd shooting off magic, I'm in the clear?
Garuk, you would have you'd have a little bit of an idea. Since Corda is a major imperial city, it takes the laws regarding magic a little more seriously. So registered magic users have nothing to fear.
Okay.
And you would relate this information.
Yes,
Relay
I
this
would.
information.
Yes, I would.
So I have nothing to fear, so I'm like good?
Are you registered?
Legal magic. Yeah.
Are you registered?
magic
Oh, shit,
users.
fuck no, I'm not registered. That's why I'm asking
Then,
for it.
then
No,
yeah.
I'm not goddamn legal.
Shit.
Then guess what?
Fuck.
Well, then don't go around casting
Hey,
stuff
how
on the
hard?
ground.
Hey, you know, get me some papers. This is your fucking spot. Can't you
Oh,
get
yeah, I
me some
should
forged
grab my-
papers?
I mean, I don't know if I'd be able to go about getting papers or not, like forged paper. DM.
I mean,
Yeah.
I guess I got some contacts. I mean, I need to get
No. Well, I'm trying to think. No, you wouldn't have any kind of papers either, Tyler.
No, I mean like get them forged.
I mean, you could try to. I don't know. Do you have a fortune kit or anything like that?
I don't, but I mean like contacts and whatnot.
You could you could possibly talk to some people about it and see about getting some papers or trying to forge them. You'd have to do a little more investigating about that. As far as you know, the exchange tries not to do forgeries.
Okay.
Rare case where they can, or the rare case where they acquire papers via other contacts that they have. But
Okay.
the kinds of papers that he's referring to are imperial government papers, so they're a little harder to find and get.
That makes sense.
So, I mean, what do you think, Rick? You get me something?
I could try one of my old contacts.
Yeah, you can think of one person that may be able to help with this, and he's in the thing I sent you.
I'm not above a little quid pro quo. Like, I'll scratch some backs if I can get some fucking legal cover.
I think you know who I'm talking about, right, Kendall?
One minute.
Yeah, Finn, you kind of get the sense too. Like it's a little smaller than Hilltown, but I mean it's still a major, provincial capital.
Oh,
They take magic use serious. I mean,
Fuck.
the Empire likes to keep a lid on magic users, trying to make sure that anyone's registered through the academy or documented who they are and what they're capable of.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, that's not gonna really work for me.
so handle that if you find a way to get some kind of papers, or if you just stealth it out.
Well,
Not
no,
to
I
do
mean,
it in secret.
oh yeah, but I mean, so eventually you're gonna get pinched. I mean, we got lucky so far. This is the biggest city I've been in since I left Hilton. Full disclosure.
Yeah, I mean,
So
me too. Just, don't use the big stuff. We should be okay.
Yeah, I mean, as long as we're not
Yeah.
going around casting spells left and right, I think we'll be okay. Just try not to use them in
Yeah,
unless, it's
so-
life or death.
Shared it once, but the basic rules involving it, so long as you're not like overly flashy and doing major magical castings in front of like Imperial or city guards or anything, you're probably fine. Little stuff kind of goes under the radar because there's usually like little racial traits that get little bits of magic and stuff. And the Empire, while they don't like minorities, is at least understanding that sometimes you just have it. It's the major stuff that they try to keep an eye out for, like the ability to drive people insane, or
shoot energy blasts out of your hands.
or shoot energy blasts out of your hands, or rip holes in the fabric of reality, or fill the area with a large like angry bear spirit,
or a storm of knives.
or a storm of
I can do
knives.
that now.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
you
we
know,
gotta get
stuff,
fake
stuff
pictures.
that's a little more like dangerous and that a government might want to keep an eye on. Like that's what they keep an eye on.
Yeah, no, and we don't want them scratching. Like we don't want them picking at that too far because I don't want them really digging deep. So yeah, Grook, you need to find us some motherfucking papers.
He's still doing whatever he's dealing with.
Studying.
I mean, I probably try not to use mine anyway
Sorry
because
about that.
druids are kind of not a accepted thing anywhere. So
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you're
So,
a half elf like hippie. No,
Yeah.
I think it might be like Rochambeau for who gets the fucking worst end of that whole like deep dive shakeout between you and me.
True.
So let's get these papers, motherfucker.
All right. So, I guess I'll be heading to. So we gotta go back to the docks then.
Lead on.
All right.
I'm not
Taking him back.
Papers for myself. I just don't
I forgot you have some matter. No, you're
Yeah.
good. It's a kind of an
mean-
integral part of my ability to defend myself.
Oh, I understand.
Yeah. Me too.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I know how to use a fucking dagger, but one is much more productive than the other.
Oh, I'm sure.
might as-
For me right now, I can just, talk to animals, heal a little bit, and just use the hunter's mark. That's about it for now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's real easy to hide. Like I
Oh,
said,
yeah, I don't need to worry
shoots
about my...
energy blasts out of my hands is
Oh, yeah,
less
yours
easy to
definitely
cover up.
might want to consider.
I bring down beams from the moon.
I mean, yours adjacent to that. Like, you could probably play that one off. Like, what? Oh, weird. That's a moonbeam. Strange how that happened.
I mean, they
middle
can
of
see
the
me casting it.
day.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can be subtle about it. You don't have to be like all center of attention. I'm casting a magic spell.
I mean, it kind of requires I speak Druidic.
Well, yeah, but you don't have to like shout it.
True.
I mean, I got all kinds of verbal shit required with some of the stuff I can do, but I'm not like I mumble it. No, no. Poof. Done.
Oh, God,
Is
what
that
did
how
this
that
do?
goes?
Yeah, that's exactly how it goes.
All right.
So you're leading them there. I think I know
Yeah.
where you're taking. I think I know where you're taking them.
Yeah, I'm leaving
All right.
him there. Just know I may not be able to access the area.
What?
Granted, it's getting late at night.
Yeah, they may have changed the password since I've been here.
Oh, that's good. It's reassuring. Way to sell that one.
I mean, at least I'm being upfront about it.
But I mean, it's the same spot, right? Like, you know people.
I know the people there, yes.
Oh, well, so if the password changes, we'll get...
I really don't know the
Question.
leader that well, and
Well, look, I mean, we can fucking earn. So if you can
Yeah.
at least get us in the door without getting murdered, I think we're probably in good shape.
I can probably manage that.
Let's aim high.
Okay.
All right, so yeah, all right. You start making your way back towards the docks district, leading him towards where you remember this building being, Kendall,
Yeah.
which, for reference, is unmarked. There is no, I don't have a map marker for it, but it's basically just up in the little peninsula area. The area he kind of leads you, he leads you to the market area, and it's a little. This part's a little more industrial. There's less and less of the like touristy stuff at the edge of the docks and all the piers and all that, and more like warehouses. And you kind of start seeing a few of the shadier characters just kind of watching you.
This is where the fucking dirt gets done.
Eventually, he leads you up to what looks like kind of almost an abandoned warehouse, but not quite abandoned. Like about to be foreclosed on warehouse style. The door, like
It
the
just
building,
like screams hideout.
I mean, it looks like there's a couple of legitimate business signs and stuff on there. And one end of the building, it looks like there is something of a legitimate business. Appears to be some kind of storage place going down at one end of it. But he leads you over towards the side, and there's actually a little bit of a side door with a wooden door frame on there. You would recognize this, but you're not fluent in it. This is there's a bunch of scratches and stuff on the door. It looks almost like thieves' cant. You're not you're able to, because of your background, you're not fluent in thieves' cant, but you are able to recognize it.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know what the fuck they're saying, but I can tell what it is.
But Garuk is able to recognize this is the right place. Thieves' cant is just essentially identifying what this building is, which you already know what this building is, Garuk.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you do?
I proceed to do the old knock.
All right, you give the first knock.
Yes.
Shave and a haircut.
You give the first knock, and you guys listen. It's actually a bit of a long one. Takes about 15-20 seconds for him to knock out for her to knock out a nice little pattern in different spots on the door. And eventually, after she does the final knock, you hear a click as the door slowly slides open.
Sweet. All right, come on in.
Good first step.
Okay. And the door, as you guys walk in, the door finally closes behind you. It seems like it's a bit weighted. You are now in a bit of just a little foyer area, enough room for you guys to be comfortably in. There's a door straight ahead of you, and there's a door to your right. So there's a left door and a right door.
Red pill or blue pill?
Go.
Yeah, which
right.
door?
Right.
Yep. Okay.
Okay, so you give the second knock code.
Yes.
Okay, on the right door, you said.
Yes.
Okay.
Hopefully it's the right fucking door.
I hope so.
Tap out another 15-20 second little knock in different spots. Nothing happens.
Then I'll try it on the.
You knock out the same code on the left door.
I'm gonna slip a dagger into my hand because I got a bad fucking feeling that we made a mistake.
Dagger in your hand, you're just kind of waiting, listening. Go ahead and roll a perception check for me.
Yeah, I'm just listening.
Who's trying to pick up on anything? Roll perception.
Okay.
I'll definitely be listening. And so will my wolf.
I forgot she's with us. Woo! Oh shit! Fucking Tyler. I can hear everything, but you're a fucking beast.
So you guys start listening, just trying to figure. You're kind of getting a bad feeling out of this.
Yeah. Good.
You guys keep
Double.
listening, and nothing. You don't hear anything. I mean, you can hear some of the noises like lightly through the door behind you, back out towards the docks. You don't hear anything on either the left door or the right door. And you just kind of sit in this room and keep listening. Nothing seems to be happening.
Cool, Garuk.
What? I said I would try.
Yeah, I assume you fucking missed that mark by a ways.
It's been several years since I've been here, so.
I've been to Hilltown for a minute, but I think I still find my way around.
Finn, you recognize like this whole kind of like cloak and dagger shit. You're aware that gangs like this, specifically like thieves guilds, tend to change their passwords.
Oh, yeah. No, we're using fucking way old codes. If Darth Vader lets us through, it's because he fucking knows it's us. It's not because we had the right shit.
I get that reference.
Okay, their cap.
Character doesn't.
That's true. That's true. Your character does
Finn
not
definitely
get
said that out loud. You guys, I'm talking fucking nonsense to you guys.
Yeah, for the record, when he sounds
None
like
of
he's
you-
talking in Matt, he's talking in Finn.
No, 100% of my like current pop culture reference is 100% Finn. He has said everything that I said.
Which is why I tend to have NPCs question you, like, wait a minute, what's the Pope?
Yes, he's just fucking, the Pope, the big hat. Shit.
Tyler's just like blinking at him, like the fuck.
What the hell are you talking about?
It's cool.
So what to do next?
Probably fucking walk out that other door and get fucking murdered because we had shitty interactions.
Hey,
What? I mean, like, you don't know people? You can't, like, get us a fucking current set of codes? Fuck it. Let's open this door.
we can go back out the back door. Okay.
Yeah, you would remember, Garuk, that while the door, like, either door wasn't here beforehand, you're aware that at any point, if they can't get in through the first door, you can just leave the first door. Like, the first door isn't locked or anything from the inside.
So yeah, we can head back outside.
Well, yeah, cool. No, but we still need the shit they got. Hey. I know somebody's fucking listening.
Which door are you doing this at?
I'm just doing it in the middle of both doors, like, hollering at both of them. Like, come the fuck on, dude. We got through the first door. We know about this shit. Talk to her. It's her deal. We need something. There's a transaction available. Or we could just fucking roll out. I guess go to your competition and get it from them. But I thought you guys liked to make money.
It's here as there's a large, like, not large, slightly loud, like, metallic scraping noise from what like, it sounds like it's coming from one of the ceiling areas.
Ugh. Cool.
Just a hiss. As you watch as a vapor begins to fill the room. I need everyone to roll a Constitution saving throw.
God, fuck you, Garuk. I immediately pass out.
I hit the
Fuck
ground
you,
before
Guru.
you.
Oh Lord.
And once again, fuck you, roll 20.
Oh, hang on.
Yep. Let's see how you do.
There we go.
All right. So,
Fight it. Takes you a second.
as first Taylor starts just breathing in and goes, oh, and then just falls to the ground and passes out. Finn
Shit.
quickly passes out right behind him.
No,
Tyler is kind of bracing herself
Fuck
against
you,
one of
I
the
took a
walls,
big
like
deep
resisting it. Falls down as well, passed out. You're sitting there. You've
'Cause Garuk
undergone this.
Sweet.
Yeah, Garuk, you've undergone this once, so you're aware of what this poison is. You're also aware it's not like fatal.
Yeah.
For resistance to it, having been through this experience before, and you know exactly what's coming next. As after it stopped pouring into the room, the left door eventually you hear a loud chunk, and the door is opened, and there's 5 people with crossbows, all pointed straight at you.
My middle finger is still extended, pointed in the Garuk's, even unconscious. This is how much I want you to understand how hard I'm flipping you off. like Moon and I style, my fingers are growing. I'm flipping you off harder than I have ever flipped off anyone before.
And that is where we're going to leave off for tonight, because that seems like the perfect stopping point.
Damn it.
Sounds good.
having 3 party members completely passed out, and the 4th sitting there like, oh shit, multiple crossbows at me.
Hi,
I
guys.
was actually just about to post that I'll be right back, so I'm gonna go. See you later.
Yep. Adios.
And I'll end the recording here.
Oh man, I was not expecting you guys to go there immediately.